A little that happened last week. I will still give the opportunity. Who would like to give a recap?
Oh.
I'm up for it if nobody else is, but...
I
Sure.
kind of wanted to.
Inspiration on the line. You guys
I'll do it.
Sure.
Alright. Wait,
I
hold
call
on.
dibs for next one, probably, maybe.
Alright, let's set up an order. We forgot to actually set up an order. We're gonna put this in the pin messages in general
right.
chat. Alright, so. If I'm taking number 1.
Zaku called 2, I guess I'll take 3.
Alright.
Did we already say this? Did we already establish this? I could have sworn.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, isn't it we were going by chat order?
We did, but the chat order changed.
Did it?
Yeah, I didn't change anything about my name.
No. Chat order in the...
Oh, recap. That's what you're...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And let me give me a second and we'll settle this as a democracy. Alright. Who wants number 1?
I thought you take it first one, Michael.
Alright. I will take first.
And Zaku called the second, because Zaku said they wanted to go next week. I'll take third then, because I was...
I'm realizing that... No, that isn't... Okay, never mind.
Alright, we have positions 4 and 5 still open. I'd like to nominate myself again for position 4.
Yeah. We're going order here, Michael.
I know, I'm kidding.
Judah probably wants to go next.
As Nikki puts
Interesting
off
how I
the
never said
inevitable as
anything.
far back as possible.
Alright. Guys, Boulder Department here to see who goes last.
Judah, shh, let me speak for you.
Guys, Boulder Parchment cheers.
Just throw all 3 at Nikki.
Hey, Judah then Nikki, just to keep it going.
Alright. Alright, so this is the order I have. Michael, Zaku, Heath, Judah, Nikki. Are we all set with this?
Good by me.
I'm good with whatever.
What was that, Nikki?
I ain't complaining.
Alright. Official in 3, 2, 1. And I'm
Hey!
And how do I pin this?
You're right.
You don't.
You don't, yeah.
Oh. Alright. So it looks like I'm first. Alright. Let me know when you're recording.
I have been recording for the last 2 minutes.
Okay, you guys get to hear all of that in this recap.
Hello, viewers.
You're getting a good look behind the scenes of how we actually make this program.
Hi, future me.
Alright. Well, today was certainly interesting. Met some new people. I'm getting ahead of myself. Woke up in the den, got Gallo out of bed, and that poor bastard he slept with. Sorry, dude. Went downstairs, got my breakfast ready, waiting for Hellman, waiting for Gallo, get back downstairs. And while we were there waiting, chit-chatting, new person walked in. Half-look fella. Little broody, but seemed good enough. His name was, if I remember correctly, and God, I hope I am, because he's standing a few feet away from me. Rodis walked in. He seemed a little, shall I say, not sociable at first, but, I don't know, I think I'm warming up to the guy. He's, a lot smarter than he actually seems to be. Interesting. So, after that, we, got to talking with him for a little bit. And then our next, compatriot for our job, Helmet, came in. He, interesting guy. Mostly human, I think, though. He's got some weird ears. I think he's some sort of magic user. He's very intent with, fire and whatnot, and he's, if I gotta say, you're kind of a charming accent right there. But, again, getting ahead of myself. We sat down, chatted with the guy. Clear to say, maybe missing a few books off the shelf. But, you know, he seems nice enough. We got to talking and whatnot, and then, finally, for the love of God, Hammond showed up. And we were all set to go, and then he walked in. He had a whole setup. Hey, I'll give him credit for the setup. Like, that was impressive. It seemed like he hired someone to blow rose petals into the room. But, Julius walked in, human man. Oh boy, that kid was something. Very quickly insulted me and, Rotus, gave us a maneuver at the very least, and we set off on a merry way. After that, Hellman told us that he had to take care of some business in town, while we went to go rescue his workers. I'm not too worried about it, job seems simple enough, but we headed off and, like I said, not too concerned about the job, but fuck if I'm not going to kill someone by the end of it. So we got talking to people. Grotus seems more of the down-to-business sorts, doesn't really like people. Xavier, seems quite the opposite. He seems like he's out to just do things. And I can appreciate that. Someone who's just out to see the world. Not a bad motivation. Julius also seems like he's got that, but more in the vein of making a name for himself and his family, even though he already clearly insists his family has a name already, but I guess each their own. Gallows, I know why he's out and about, or at least I have an idea. And me, I have my own business. We rode for a good while until eventually we had to settle down for camp. We talked for a good while. I told Julius what was what. We had some more chats. Sat down, made a campfire. Gross and Xavier found some pretty good food. And Grotus, surprisingly, very good cook, I gotta admit. After a while, we continued talking, discussing sort of things we could do, and Grotus and Julius decided that they'd have a competition of strength, to which I did encourage. First, there was arm wrestling, which was actually fairly close. Grotus won out in the end, which I honestly really wish I actually placed down bets. That was what I would have guessed. And, you know, being one to encourage a little more action, I got the two of them to have a friendly spar. Grotus showed us what he could do, and damn, he could do a lot. Julius, though, surprisingly, his inexperience showed, but still got a very good strike in. He's got some form of magic to his, style that I'm not entirely familiar with, but I can probably figure it out. But in the end, Grotus won, and Julius went and sauntered off. In the end, and we did some more chit-chatting. Me and Grotus went over some designs, and I went over to talk to Julius to see how he was doing. And that's when I learned he had some sort of family issues, and more or less told him that if his family doesn't like him, fuck him. But I guess that's neither here nor there. Now we're just setting up for the night, trying to more or less get some rest and making sure no one attacks us. And that reminds me, I'm taking a watch with Gallows first thing. Better get to it. Well,
Are you done talking to yourself?
as Moonstone pulls away a little stone from him. You know, I like to at least keep track of my journeys. Also, Nikki, I intuited that, not... You never said it. Anyway. Yeah, I'm talking to myself, but that reminds me, I do have to talk to you. Once everyone goes to bed.
Alright.
End of scene.
Take inspiration for that.
Can you say that again? You're really low.
Oh, sorry, I turned myself down so that for whatever reason, it's picking up my mouse now, which it usually doesn't. Is this better? Are you able to hear me now?
No,
You're really quiet.
You're really quiet, man.
Not at all, boy.
Yeah, I already got your volume raised. You're pretty quiet.
Okay, how am I now?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. If it picks up my if it picks up my mouse, I'm sorry. But we will
That's
see.
fine.
So you can take an inspiration. As I explained before, an
Hey!
inspiration allows you to force a reroll on any d20 that has been rolled.
Ooh.
I will keep that in mind if my character sheet will load. There it is.
So, I'm judging by how you'll talk that you wish to still do watches. I was going to offer to skip since we wasted so much time yesterday. Doesn't seem like I'll have to leave this time, so we'll get at least 3 and 4 hours in. Depends on how far we get. So if you do all want to take watches, that's fine. If you want to just skip to the next day, we can also do that and hurry things along, but it's up to you.
Someone would like to take a watch, more or less to chat with Gallows.
Sure. So in that case, so we'll do watches then. So it'll be, we'll do 3 watches total. Unfortunately, 1 person will be alone. So for the first 2, will be Gallo and Moonstone. For the second watch,
Yeah, we already worked it out. It was Grotus and blah, blah, blah. Mine's a
Xavier?
little not Xavier, no.
Julius?
Julius, just Grotus and
Okay.
Julius, who were going second because Julius said he'd take second watch, and Grotus went, "I'm not trusting him by himself, and I'm going with you."
and then for Xavier for the third watch alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're chilling.
Just chilling.
So, well, the first 2 then, please roll a perception check.
Perception.
My specialty.
That's
I
persuasion.
hit the wrong one.
What's your
You both
perception
go.
modifier?
And just add another 2 to that.
Okay, so you got a 16 and an 18. So, the 2, while neither of you have spent too much time in this part of the Pharaohs, it's calm and peaceful, known for rolling hills, scattered woods, and small mountains. At the moment, you feel little danger around, though there's always need to keep a watchful eye. Looking towards the forest, which sits to your south, and the plains that kind of sit on the opposite side of this road, nothing you notice of any size larger than perhaps a bird or a small woodland critter. Nothing of danger. And watch goes uneventfully.
So, we'll cover 2 things tonight. Thing number 1. And Moonstone will pull out the copper wire, thumb it between his, hold it down with his thumb in his palm, and hold it with his pointer and middle finger, and just say, and then cast message, just to make sure no one else could hear him. So, what did you learn about the others?
Hmm.
In the distance, you can hear Xavier's light snoring.
There's a reason why I'm using message here.
I know.
Gallo doesn't look at him, but generally, if his eyes aren't scanning the dark forest, then he's looking up at the sky. He's just kind of watching the stars and notes little constellations here and there.
There's little light pollution, so you are very easily able to discern what remains of a crescent moon as it is slowly rising, as well as a number of stars often seen throughout the night.
Alright. Gallo's face seems tranquil at that. But he thinks about it and he asks, what kind of information are you looking for?
Yeah, just general stuff in case something goes wrong and we need a bail. Yeah, the normal stuff.
You mean you've seen it for yourself? We have 2 strong people. We have a magic user. All of them good-natured for the most part. None of them to fuck with. One's a noble, another one's a Sophisticated wild man. Small town boy.
Well, all I'm saying is that what I found out from Julius was that he has some sort of family issue.
Hmm.
My guess is he's trying to improve himself.
Well, that
Yes.
sounds pretty normal of noble life.
I don't know. Yeah, I suppose, but still. I don't know. I always find that's useful information and to know something about someone you're working with. Also, Grotus is, as you noted, smart, but he's actually, like, mechanically smart, too. He was actually giving me ideas for how to make my shield work, as he gives a little tap to his left.
Yeah,
wrist.
your nerd talk goes right over my head, but I could see it.
What about Xavier? Didn't really get a chance to talk to him much.
People person as well. Seems to be the type who may not lie often, but who's to say that's not a facade either. I'm not getting any suspicious reads off of anyone for now. However, Julius, I'd keep an eye out. Not so much of trust issues, but... oh, you know. He's hiding. Is... something like that. He's hiding things. And... he runs his tongue over his teeth, trying to figure out words.
Honestly, I think I figured.
Hmm.
Well, I realize how you could probably get him to do something if you need to. Positive reinforcement. Boost his ego. I'm sure he'll be putty in your hands.
Positive reinforcement. I mean... and he gives him a little smirk. Personally, I'd like to break him, if you know what I mean. However, we'll see how it goes. I could see him getting on my nerves. Or I could see him doing the opposite.
I'm just saying, could be useful.
They're all useful, that's why they're here.
That's fair. But that does remind me of something. You know, let me see it.
What was that last part?
I said, your bow, let me see it.
You know, let me see it?
Your bow, let me see it.
Oh, okay.
God, I know my accent's thick.
He quirks the brow and hands it over.
It's about time I actually fixed your bow. I'll just quickly take out some tools and... he'll make it seem like what he's doing is really impressive, but he's really just removing one piece.
So that's all it took.
Hey, listen, I've said he's making it seem like he's doing something impressive.
Can Gallo tell if he's actually doing anything impressive?
Well,
Is that like a...
Or perhaps someone should roll for performance. Asshole.
No. Not at all.
Well, yeah, nerd shit goes over his head. And, he sighs. Regardless if he's doing anything actually, fancy or not, he utters a small thank you. But there's still exasperation hidden in it.
Yeah, no problem. Alright. There you go. Should be good.
Is that all you learned about this today?
Besides what they can actually do in terms of their abilities, not too much. I was more focused on their personalities. Anyway, I think that's about it for me, but I did want to ask you. We've been traveling around for a little bit. You haven't really told me too much about yourself.
What do you want to know?
What's your actual goal here? I know I'm traveling around. What about you? You're not giving me the vibe of an endgame.
He blinks. Doesn't really answer him for a second. Looks out into the trees. And then looks back at him. Do you need one?
Yeah, I mean, I've been traveling around with you, been on plenty of misadventures. I'd like to know at least something a little bit with the person I'm working with.
Mm. I haven't thought about an end game. So I simply move for now.
Fair enough.
What about you? What's your end game?
Oh, me. Moving away from something and seeking answers.
Answers.
Answers? To what? I don't know yet. Serious, I know, right? But no, it's actually the truth.
It makes sense. You're driven by curiosity. The answers come to you, you don't look for them.
Oh no, you gotta look for answers to find them. Sometimes you might get lucky and stumble into something, but it's usually only a hit.
Mm.
Alright. Yeah, I think that was it for me. But, yeah. I don't think these guys are gonna pose a threat to us unless we do something real nasty.
Just don't piss them off. I think I'll be fine.
Who, me? Never.
Or should I say more appropriately, don't let your madness get to your head. But you seem to have that under cover so far. Know that I'm watching you, though.
Ah, what's the worst that can happen? It's not like I'm actually gonna go kill someone.
I saw you raise your glove earlier.
Maim, not kill.
Hmm.
Ah, what's a little ash to the face? It wonders mine. As he just smiles and gestures to the white of his face. Also, I need you.
Not everyone is privy to such change as you are.
I like to think it gives me more character.
He shrugs and rolls his eyes a bit, if you say so.
Alright. Well, that was a good talk. Don't want to wake up the next watch.
Gallo looks over to... I guess, are Grotus and Julius in their tents?
Grotus doesn't sleep in a tent. Grotus is on the grass, and if you look at him, he's got a blanket over top of him that's the same color as the grass.
Julius is in a tent.
blends in. He looks
Xavier
over
is
to...
halfway sticking out of his tent.
Amazing. Gala looks at Moonstone, and he raises a brow, and he asks him which one you want.
Depends. Do I get to wake him up in a fun way? As he just gives a mischievous smile.
What kind of fun?
Let me say. As I go over the spells I already know this day. Ooh, I'll cover them in a bit of a grease file.
Grease file? Grease fire?
No, grease pile. I'm not gonna set them on fire!
Oh, pile. Okay.
I mean, as fun as it
Sorry.
can be some days.
Grease pile. What else do you have?
With things they ain't gonna hurt them. I could also make them very glittery when they wake up.
Something tells me one of them would like that.
And the other would probably skin me alive.
I feel the other would skin you alive regardless of what you do.
That's fair. Fine, I'll just wake them up. Moonstone will just walk over to the tent and just be like, "Hey, you, Julius."
Just 5 more minutes.
No, you're get in bed, get your ass up. Don't take a watch.
Try kicking him, and Gala will go over to Grotus. And
You really don't want me to kick you, mate.
Oh, fine. Sits up. Hair still on fleek, though.
Amazing. I woke up like this. I woke up like this. Gala will crouch down in front of Grotus. And he contemplates over many things, ways to wake him up, many inappropriate ways, but puts those on the back burner. And he carefully and gently puts a hand on his arm.
As you do so, the moment you touch his arm, Grotus just shoots up with an axe in his hand. Looks at you.
Immediately backs up and puts his hands up in the air in a sort of surrender.
Sorry about that. Not used to being waken up gently, says as she puts the axe back on his belt.
It's fine, I figured. It's time for your watch.
Fair enough. Looks over, looks about, looks at the fire, remembers who he's on the watch with, goes, "Oh, for the love of..." and goes down to stoke the fire to get it lit back up.
He snorts quietly and says, "You did that to yourself. Have fun."
I know.
Alright. So is 2 go to sleep? The other 2, could you please roll me a perception check?
Not my specialty. Oh, that was on GM layer, but that was a 13.
Sure thing. 17, 13. So, whatever remnants of dusk might have been there for the watch of... Oh, Julius, you need to make it at disadvantage. Because you are... Oh, no, I guess you got the campfire. I'll just say it straight, and then...
Yeah, Grotus would keep a campfire going 24/7 because he's less worried about bandits and more worried about wild animals.
Yep, I understand.
Yeah.
With any remnants of dusk now gone, the only star being from a barely shining moon, and what stars find their way in the sky tonight, it's peaceful yet ominous. And kind of looking out, you don't notice anything at the start of your watch, either.
Julius paces, like, walks back and forth with, like, a hup, hup, like, night type of walk.
Grotus's eyes just follow Julius as he takes out, like, his whetstone. You hear a shh, shh, as he's resharpening the axe that he smoked Julius with earlier. Looks you up and down and goes, "What are you doing there?"
I'm keeping watch, of course.
You don't have to march around to keep watch. This is a small campsite.
I got to make sure that I stay aware of all my blind spots.
Gallo pops his head out of his tent.
He throws out his sword.
You could see his green eyes kind of like very faintly glowing in the dark and looking very not pleased, and it's just like, "If you take one more step, pretty boy, I will end your watch. Calm the fuck down."
Moonstone just pops out of his tent and just goes, "You're fucking loud in that..." Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, loud in that... No, darn it, hold on.
Wrong exit.
It takes a minute to sink into. You're almost loud there, Mike.
Oh, sorry, I do it quieter.
Just take off your armor, if anything.
Or just sit the fuck
Yeah.
down.
Seriously.
Oh, my mashed potatoes.
Grotus
Grotus
rolls.
sound awake.
You know what? Here, sit down and I'll... Yeah, I don't think there's anything to be worrying about out here. We got a good spot.
Nope. Can never be too vigilant. Don't worry, I'll be quieter. Julius is gonna quote unquote march quieter.
Is it actually quieter?
Stealth check at disadvantage because of the armor.
No, it's not a stealth check. You can still, to a degree, kind of hear him due to the fact of simply how the armor kind of moves as he moves. But if he's attempting to be quiet for the sake of kind of just not making a ton of noise while like barely moving, it's not super noticeable, but you can still hear it every once in a minute. Still easy enough to fall asleep through.
Gallo goes back into his tent.
Well, Julius is doing his marching. Grotus pulls out the cooking pot he had again and fills it back up with some water. Might as well get breakfast going.
Don't we got another watch after this?
Aye, and he's gonna look over at the tent where he sees the little feet poking out. Goes, I'm pretty sure he can watch it while we sleep. It's better when it slow cooks.
Pausing his marching and walking over towards the tent. Is it just like Xavier's like too tall for his tent or something?
No, it's literally that he fucking moved in his sleep, and now both of his hairy ass legs are poking out of the damn mouth of the.
And Julius kind of holds his chin while looking at that, just like, don't want to get sick. He's gonna try to quietly move in and try to carefully move Xavier back fully into his tent.
Right out of his ass.
And then slowly drape the blanket over, go shh, and then
You
quietly
ignored
make his
the
way out.
fart? You ignored the fart?
What?
That little sound that I was making, that was not a purr. That was a fart coming out of his ass.
He ignores it.
Damn, a trooper.
His way out.
You know what? He's spending the watch with Grotus. The fart's hardly the worst thing he's probably smelling at this point.
You're right. Although, you underestimate him.
Grotus just kind of looks over at Julie, goes, that was rather kind of you.
What? Sort of common sense. Don't want anyone getting sick.
I suppose not. You see, Julius, as he gets the water boiling, he takes like this massive sack of oats and starts pouring it into the pot. Starts spurling. Oh.
Just eyes it curiously and then returns to his quote-unquote quiet marching.
Chink, chink, chink. Grotus just kind of rolls his eyes. Starts grabbing honey, starts adding honey, grabs out a jar of honey he has in his bag and starts adding it with some various forest berries he collected. Should be good for the morning. So
Are you
there.
going to have it bubbling during the Lost Watch?
Aye, I'll take. Well, I mean, the boy seems to be able to. He's good. Look, motions over towards the least sleeping figures in it. Xavier goes. He seems to have the knack with fire. If he superheats it by the end of the day, it should come out just right.
Well, if you're sure.
I'm sure he'll be fine. He strikes me as the competent sort.
I'm sure that he is.
Speaking of which, he looks over at the sword you had pulled out. Aye, you might want to sharpen that little blade of yours after you struck me with it. As he notices the little dink you had in the metal after striking his chain armor.
Looks at it. Oh God, you're right. It's dirty. He like tries wiping the dirt off of it.
Not the. No, you need to sharpen it.
It looks sharp to me.
Grotus rolls his eyes, comes up, walks towards it, puts his finger where the dent is, and just rubs it along. He just rubs it along. Dull, see?
Alright. I guess I got to buy a new sword.
Do you not know how to sharpen a blade?
Well, I mean, if it doesn't work anymore and it's old, I just get a new one.
Slaps his face, is like, sit down.
What? The
Just
blind spots?
sit down.
Could say please.
He looks at you kind of close and goes, please.
Take the seat.
He takes out his whetstone and looks over and goes, have you ever even seen one of these before?
That, my good sir, is a rock.
Grotus just stares blankly at you. I suppose that's an accurate description, although I'd be wary of saying that to a full-blooded dwarf or anything.
Do they not like rocks?
Let's just say calling this a rock is a bit like calling you an animal, let's say.
Am I a lion? I like lions.
You're an idiot.
Love him.
Grotus just looks at him and starts rubbing his... You know what, never mind. The fact of the matter is, this specialist form of rock is called a whetstone. It's used for sharpening your blades after combat.
Oh! Usually the servants took care of that.
I groaned at the same time, groaned.
A little bit of my soul dies every time Julius talks.
I'm crying.
Grotus walks over to Julius. Well, if you want to be a hero, I'd suggest learning to do it on your own.
Isn't there usually, like, a squire?
He looks around the woods. Do you see one around here? And you best think carefully of the answer.
Opens mouth close.
Jumping to what he knew he was going to say.
Looks over at the rest of them who are sleeping.
As that gesture to the woods is made, Julius, though slight, you do hear what sounds like a cracking of a few branches, followed by shuffling through a bit of underbrush in a slightly moving towards you fashion.
He stands up and draws a sword.
What is it?
I hear something.
Grotus kind of looks in the direction he's looking at. Wake the others just in case, but I'll go forward and take a peek.
I will protect your back.
He looks behind him and goes, yeah, you do that. Grotus will, like, slowly move towards whatever he, towards the noise.
Sure thing. Making your way just kind of off the trail a bit towards the edge of where the tree line starts. Make a perception check.
Oh, goody, because these are my specialties.
And Julius is, like, falling behind a number of feet away.
11.
11?
Are you waking the others?
Are you, Julius?
Nope.
Okay. You kind of like take a moment and kind of walk to the edge of it. You look forward. With an 11, it's like you get to that point where the light of the campfire ends and you kind of like use what dark vision you have, and you can see just kind of looking back at you. With an 11, you'd see two different sets of eyes. You can just barely see what light is kind of reflecting in their eyes coming back to you. But with an 11, you can't make out their forms.
Julius, wake the others just in case.
Is it a ghost?
It's... Ghosts don't snap branches.
Poltergeists do.
Have you ever met a ghost?
Well, I guess I really haven't, to be honest.
Exactly, maybe it's a ghost and they can snap branches.
Just like the others.
No, it's one idiot.
I don't know. Entertaining that was kind of idiotic.
What, they
Alright.
not seeing there's a ghost? It's like-
I've never seen a ghost while eyes are staring at them.
Julius will slowly back away, just like, if anything attacks you, just holler for help, and we will be right there.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
Julius will walk quietly back to camp and start rapidly shaking the tents of everyone, go like, there's a ghost, guys, there's a ghost!
As
You better be. Oh, you better not be waking me up for no reason. Again, wrong answer. Damn it.
one quick
I was just
question.
doing an accent.
Oh, one quick question, Chris. With that, I see the eyes. Would I be able to tell what level? I should be able to see the height they're at, right? Are they like look like they're low or high, like my level or like animal
They
level?
look like, from what you can see, because you can't make out the form at all, unfortunately, with 11. The eyes are sitting probably about maybe 4 feet off the ground.
That's pretty tall. So it's not a wolf or something based off that.
No, it would definitely be larger than a wolf.
Yeah.
If you want, you can attempt to move closer, in hopes of being able to discern kind of a bit more with your dark vision. It's up to you.
Yeah, why not? This is Grotus. Grotus is a bit. We'll just take a few steps forward. Well, yeah. Julius is waking up the rest of the party.
Mate, this better be important.
Meanwhile, Gallo is getting his armor on, and then when he finally gets out of
Armor
his tent
does
to
take a bit
stand
of
up.
time. If
Okay.
you did take it off for sleeping, it does take a bit of time to get on. It's about,
Nah.
I think it's a minute for light armor, which I'm guessing you're wearing leathers.
No, it's a minute for medium. Light, I believe, is just an action.
I don't think that's right.
Don't think so.
Let me check.
Yep, we can just check that real quick. It's not a huge deal.
Because it's 10
I mean, I
minutes
was-
for heavy.
Yeah, 10 minutes for heavy. I think
Here we
it's
go.
5 minutes for medium, and then 1 minute for light. Anyway,
Okay, yeah, he
Okay.
has light armor. It takes him only a minute. After a minute, he gets out, and
Doff.
despite Julius being taller than Gallo only stands at 5'10". He gives him just the dirtiest look. It's just, this better be good.
Moonstone probably would have slept in his armor because, let's be honest, he lives in that shit. That is his baby.
Grotus and I found a ghost.
taking
Where?
those few steps forward, by the way, Grotus, as this awakening is happening behind you, you can just start to make out the muzzle of the first creature, and you saw signs that this might be their territory. You see
Yeah,
what looked to be at least one. You're not 100% sure if the other is also a bear, but you definitely see one bear.
okay, seeing that, Grotus puts away his axe and kind of puts his hands out gently, goes, "Easy now there, fella. We don't mean you any harm." And he's gonna just slightly kind of go down. Nothing is gonna hurt you. I promise we're gonna move on our way soon. And he's gonna...
You can roll an animal handling check if you like.
Cool. At advantage because of my rune.
Sure.
Yep, that's just
It
the...
glows.
Yeah, so he talks to the animals. He does get like a faint blue glow around his entire body to soothe them due to his frost
Which
giant
rune is this, by the
rune.
way? Can you?
Oh, yep, it's
Frost giant
the...
rune works with animals. That's
yeah, I will link it for you.
yeah. I don't know 100% off the runes off the top of my head.
You have wisdom animal handling checks at advantage.
And charisma intimidation checks. That is
Ice is spelled with an S, and I'm not sure if that's a thing or not.
No, that's just the name of the rune.
Oh, that's cool.
Ooh.
That's giant. That's the giant word for ice. So I will roll it.
Yep, go for it.
22.
Sure, 22.
Nice.
You very much get this sense. You can probably guess it. It was most likely the smell of food that brought them near. But kind of as there's this immediate, like, something in the way, both bears, you do realize it seems to be, literally a pair of brown bears. There's clearly, like, not the intent to fight. You know, large predators like this will avoid a fight if they can. There's no intent there, but there is, like, this caution. They aren't making a move towards you, and you get a sense that in time they'll probably pass by. But they are just watching right now. No hostility to you yet, though.
Okay, berries. Okay. You know what? Because Grotus loves animals, he will reach into his pouch, pull out some of the jerky. It's okay. If
You're not supposed to feed wild animals.
Yeah, I know. But Grotus has a connection to him. He's just gonna
Then
take
why
the...
do we feed Xavier?
As he looks at it, he's not gonna like feed him by hand, but he just takes out the jerky because the food smells already the problem. He's just gonna toss it off to the other side.
Sure. You'll toss one ration and you kind of take the time. It's not hard to throw, jerky at least 30, 40, 50 feet. You kind of do so, take a few steps back, and you can still keep an eye on them, and very slowly you kind of watch. Eventually one of them kind of moves a bit to the jerky. Eventually the other one follows. Over a course of probably around maybe 5-10 minutes, they slowly kind of start to push their way back into the woods, kind of this clear, like, not worth the risk of getting injured for the sake of this food.
Yeah. Grotus turns back to the rest of the party.
This is probably when Julius comes running forward, like, "My God, the rest of the party, we're here to fight the ghost."
It was
Someone just lazily just sauntered by, seeing there's no real danger. It's like, what's going on there, Mike?
It wasn't nothing to worry about. Just a couple of bears curious about the cooking.
Oh God!
I was promised a damn ghost, and you got me up here for a damn bear.
Muso's
Fuck,
ear-
Julie.
Muso's ears just kind of like fold down, just look at Julius. It's like, you woke me up for bears.
I thought it was a ghost.
You're an idiot.
That's not
And he'll go
very
back to
nice.
bed.
Sure thing.
Listen, when you actually see an apparition and start seeing undead, then you can say. But if you're only seeing a pair of eyes, you better hold it back, pretty boy.
Yeah. Pretty sure ghosts don't have eyes anyways.
Do they not?
I don't know, the ones I read about don't.
But I know if ghosts have eyes.
Roll a history or religion check, your choice.
I'll take history.
I'll do religion.
10!
Get fucked.
10.
21
Where'd you roll?
religion.
Why do you know? God.
Oh, no, there it is. For whatever reason, it took some time showing up. You kind of... Moonstone, it's... For what you know, it really depends on to what the apparition is of. So if a person that had eyes, it probably has eyes. Gallo, you would know that a apparition is very often the spirit of a creature that, for whatever reason, could not... the soul was either not claimed by a god, or the soul itself never made it to simply the realm of unclaimed souls. For whatever reason, sticking within the mortal plane, very much the same. If the person had eyes, then the ghost will have eyes. If the person for some reason didn't, he might not have eyes.
Okay. He generally relays his information and just says, apparitions, the kind you're afraid of, they're simply just people who died. If they had
Hold on.
eyes, they will have eyes.
But
If
I thought
they're
the
on-
reason why they couldn't find their way to the afterlife is because they lost their damn eyes. So where's the correlation in that?
No.
Gallo, you have an idea that probably doesn't require eyes to find your way to either whatever realm you're called to or to the Shadowfell.
You overestimate 7 intelligence.
I'm just letting Alan they got with a 21.
Thank you, good sir. He shakes his head and says, "No, they're not tied to the mortal limitations per se anymore. Eyes don't really matter once they're dead."
And Xavier, the eyes are in their heart.
Okay,
you're
I'm going to
right.
bed.
Yeah,
Good
I'm going
night.
to bed too. Not y'all.
Good night.
Grotus and Julius, I assume, finished their watch. Unless
Julius kind of glances at Grotus and puts like a hand, like with a hand on his hips, looks at Grotus. It's just like, is it just me or do they seem a little cross with me?
Why did you tell him it was ghosts?
You didn't say it wasn't ghosts.
Just see, his like hands tighten.
Xavier called back into his tent, but then sticks his head back out and was like, wait a minute, ain't it about time for mine as well?
Yes.
Also,
Alright.
to note, Gallo decides to sleep in his armor. Before he goes in his tent, he calls out Xavier.
What?
Keep watch of your legs. And he goes into his tent. No context.
Okay, I'll
I think he
watch
means
my...
since you move a lot in your sleep. But don't worry, I've dragged you back in. No worry.
Oh, yeah, that's why back at home I used to roll out of my bed just about every damn time. I don't know why I do it. I just kind of start moving, and all of a sudden, I actually ended up outside one.
That is very concerning.
I don't think it's a problem.
What if you roll into a lake?
I guess I'll swim.
But you're sleeping.
You underestimate me while I'm sleeping.
Hmm.
In any
Anyways, I
case,
see you got some cooking on that there pot.
hey, just keep an eye out for it while we sleep. Just before we wake up, give it a nice hard boil, and it should be perfect for breakfast.
Oh, you want me to like just burn it real quickly at the end part, or what's happening?
Just stoke the fire till it's hot and it bubbles over a little, and then just put the fire out.
Nearing the end of my watch, I'm presuming.
Aye. Other than that, let it have a slow heat like it is.
Right.
Well, let's everything go for 3 hours.
I mean, it's stoked over a campfire. Maybe there is some other elements that are amiss here.
Like I said, I was making it up by the end of it. Generally, with some ways you can do it is if you have a low, he was basically leaving the campfire at a simmer height.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Julius heads over to his tent. Time for me to go night-night.
Grotus
Sure.
just grabs his blanket, lies down, and goes to sleep.
Not to y'all.
Night. Lays down and sleeps.
Moonstone is already asleep.
He just kind of sits by himself, contemplates, taking out a little something. He doesn't instead.
All right. Yeah, roll a perception check for me.
Righteous. Oh no.
You got this.
Oh my god.
What'd I tell you, man?
This.
Thank you.
Listen, if I say it, it shall happen.
His word is law.
Exactly. Thank you, Zaku.
You're welcome.
So you take the time in the last bit of your watch to keep an eye out, watching your surroundings. It's quiet, peaceful, and despite the every once in a while some small creature kind of moving through the undergrowth, you assume it might be a bear, but no bear ever returns.
Or ghosts.
No ghosts.
DM shot you down.
Whenever the fire kind of, whenever something kind of close gets near, the fire naturally begins to stoke just a little bit brighter. But as his anxiety calms down, so does the flames. He just kind of Stays around humming himself a soft little tune that he learned back at home. He's just chilling.
Sure.
But of course, as Grotus had required, the moment that the sky begins to change in color and whatnot, he raises a hand towards the flame and lifts it, causing the flames to rise as
Sure thing. With that, it's not even worth a check. It's oatmeal. You eventually complete your watch and watch as the western sun finally rises over the horizon, granting another day and another well-lit path ahead of you.
As we're eating breakfast, can I work on that shield design?
Sure. I'll let you make. Did you have any actual changes that you were thinking of making to it, or?
Me and Grotus were talking about it the other night, but I think I still want to try to keep that spring-bound mechanism, so when I basically
Okay.
release the latch, it will go out.
Sure. So roll a Tinker's tool check with intelligence as your modifier.
Give me a second to set that up. Intelligence, awesome. Okay, it's the same either way, but 10.
Sure. It's you kind of have a tough time in the morning. There's as you're kind of like thinking about like what Grotus was saying, and there's this like part of you that's like, oh, I could change this, and it's like, no, keep it simple. And it's like, well, maybe if I know, and you kind of just like go back and forth on your own ideas a bit. You make some progress, but not nearly as much as you'd like. You have an idea on like kind of how you should place it so that the shield would unfold, but you're still not sure how to keep it from potentially snapping back, so to say.
All right. Oh, give me 1 second. I'll be back.
Sure.
Julius is gonna do his quicker, less involved skincare routine.
Well, we're in the medieval fantasy, so that's very little.
Some lotion.
You have some lotion that you purchased from a local quack. And rub it on your face. You hope you don't die of scurvy. I don't know what these
No.
things can do. How do you
From
suddenly die of?
home.
How do you suddenly die from scurvy despite it
No.
being a? Who knows? It's magic, baby. Welcome to D&D. You died of scurvy.
I hate it.
Yeah, everyone
All right,
hates
I'm back.
D&D, especially me.
Eat your fruits.
Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
What happened?
Julius
I
died
got
of scurvy.
Oh, sweet!
Single tear.
So anyway, so the
Look at all of his loot.
Watch goes
I want
out,
that ring.
and you all can continue as you wish.
Grody kind of starts plating everybody the nice honey berry porridge. It's kind of like a jam mix due to the low boil that it's had all day.
Gallo, it takes a while before Gallo comes out of his tent. You don't hear anything from him for like at least 10 minutes while everyone else is getting up. But he's aware. Everyone's awake. And then eventually pops out.
Sure.
Gallo,
Mm.
get on this. It's actually good. Like, really good.
You take a small inhale at the scent of the oatmeal. And doing that, my own stomach just growled. Amazing. But he gives Grotus a sort of affirming nod, acknowledging, and grabs a bowl and sits down next to Moonstone.
It's oatmeal with what you hope isn't poisonous berries.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I rolled a 21 on my survival.
It's D&D. They all could be poisonous. Everything's poisonous.
Grotus
Off to the
says,
side.
Yeah, I guess in
After this-
fairness, Grotus is resistant to poison, so he might not notice.
Yeah, can Gallo just like
What's
eye
wrong with all of you?
the stuff that he mostly trusts, but he just like the
No.
heck is in here?
Xavier just has his shirt slung over his shoulder, just eating at the oatmeal sleepily.
Julius is doing morning exercises before he eats.
Sure.
Gallo is just eyeing both of them idly. You know, chests.
The big bare chests of the fighters.
Hmm.
Xavier catches your eye and sleepily waves at you. And anybody else who looks at him is
He doesn't
So-
wave back.
Moon
But-
sense too enveloped in the work he's doing right now.
that is also fine.
He just gives a small nod.
Well,
How
Go.
is the food?
Good. You should have some.
Yep. One moment. A few more.
How many
Why,
you
Alright,
got now?
why are you
Squats.
working out before eating? Ain't that bad for you or something?
I mean, if I did it afterward, I would get a tummy ache.
That's because you're eating too much.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, you ain't supposed to stuff yourself before you do anything exercise-wise.
Which is why I'm exercising before.
Sure.
Do you gauge yourself before you eat, like when you eat, or do you just like eat in moderate amounts?
You're asking me?
Now I'm asking the one who gets a tummy ache as he gives air quotes.
Well, I mean, eating food, then extensive exercise. Not a good combination.
Gallo goes to walk over with his bowl, and is he doing? Wait, is he doing a? Wait, who left?
Rhythm died!
Rhythm.
Oh no!
What are you saying, Zaku?
Is he doing push-ups? Is he doing?
Push-ups.
Okay, then yep, he goes over with his bowl, and sits on his back, and he says, "A little bit of food to help fuel usually doesn't hurt."
I'm not going to stop eating. I'm eating afterwards. Continues on, even though he's sitting on it.
You're concerned about his well-being, Gallo?
No.
I appreciate it.
Just let the man do what he's doing. Obviously, he's got some idea.
Sorry, you cut out at let
Nope.
the man do.
Let the man do what he's doing. He's obviously got some ideas. As he points at him, is like, anyone who can throw a punch like he did back at that little fight there or keep up with me in arm wrestling. Obviously has enough idea how to take care of his own body.
I mean, I suppose you both are built like. And he kind of like tries to search for like any type of simile, but he's just at this point staring as his tongue just kind of stops.
Julius gives Xavier a grin. It's just like, Bez?
Don't hurt yourself.
No, like ghosts.
Ghosts! He drops.
Gallo manages to catch himself off.
He doubles over in laughter, spilling
Chris.
some of the oatmeal.
Chris, I would like to change the description to why I got a 10 was because of this is happening.
Where's the...
So just
where's the
closes his
ghost?
sketchbook. Alright now, ghosts, they're messing with you.
Oh.
Julius,
At his own
Prank.
expense, and points out to Xavier the oatmeal that he spilled on himself.
What? Oh, I was wondering what was burning.
Grotus just kind of looks like, why? Why?
Moonstone
You
just
hurt
goes
yourself.
sits next to Grotus and just be like, and just says in Dwarven, just like,
Ooh, right.
just says in Dwarven, just like, you and I. We're sitting next. I'm sitting with you. I'm putting the front today.
But who's gonna drive the horses? He says back in Dwarven.
Hey, Will! As he responds in Dwarven.
Julie's just like confused.
Fine.
They're debating over who's driving the carriage.
You're lucky I'm nice.
Oh. Also, Xavier, you didn't burn yourself, did you?
Do you need
Oh,
help
no, I'm
cleaning
fine.
that up?
In the time that people have been looking at one another, the oatmeal has very mysteriously disappeared.
Raises a brow.
Did you lick it off your clothes?
I could lick it off of something.
Hmm?
Melissa
That
just
doesn't
grabs
sound
a wire,
hygienic.
sends message to Gallo and just be like, Gallo! Stop, mate! Stop being a wanker!
2 months is too long. And he rolls his eyes, going back to sit next to him.
What the fuck do you mean 2 months is too long? You literally slept with someone before we left. Don't give me that bullshit.
Mm,
I like how he's like yells, he's like whisper screaming over a message.
This is why I picked up the spell so I could do this exact shit and still be silent.
Technically, you're still vocalizing though.
Nah, it's a whisper that only they can hear.
Yeah.
and he's, if anything, he's just mouthing to himself angrily.
Also, Julius will take a seat to eat now.
Grotus hands you a bowl and a spoon.
He kind of gives a little pout with the spoon, still kind of sad they're not the tiny ones, but he'll eat.
Grotus will roll his eyes. Do you really need the tiny spoons?
No, it's fine. I like the tiny spoons.
I love
Grotus
him.
looks at Julius, thinks to himself, sighs, and he's gonna start digging into his pouch, and he pulls out what looks to be a tiny spoon.
Is it actually a tiny spoon?
It's a tiny spoon.
Oh, you were holding out on me.
It's swallowed by his
Please, he looks at it like, please be careful with it.
Carefully take it, pinching it between his thumb and pointer finger. Starts daintily sipping its soup.
It's porridge.
Porridge.
You can't really sipping at porridge. That's a little hard. It's lumpy and thick. It's like,
It's like drinking a smoothie.
yeah.
Moonstone has never considered getting into drugs so bad. An alchemist, he could probably make some. Could I do that, Chris? Could I make drugs?
You could.
Oh my god.
I also believe you need.
Can I make drugs?
Chris, you're really quiet.
Oh, sorry, I'm leaning away from my mic. You could. You would have to make a check to see. Also, by the way, I believe you need to roll for your experimental.
Oh, that's right. Do I do that when someone drinks it or when someone,
You roll for it at the start of the day.
Okay.
And then you can use, like, you know what it is, and you can use it as you like.
Oh, sweet. That's even better. Alright. I just been... Okay. 3. I'll look over to Grotus and be like, oh, by the way, that, elixir I gave you, it expired last night. Yeah. As, he goes, and there's a valve on the side of his armor, and you can just see, like, there's a little indentation, and you just see him, ask you for the flask back,
Tosses it to you.
dumps it out, and there's just this gray, somewhat solidified liquid. Takes a little water, shakes it up. Yeah! And then pours it out. It's like, alright. And then you can see him, like, press a little, like, turn a little valve on the side of his, ribs. And you can see this little, you can see this clear liquid just pouring in there. Yeah, right. Okay. And he screws back on, tosses it back to you. That will make you a little hardier for about 10 minutes.
Hardier.
Yeah, hard to hit. Like what it does actually, it causes the carbon in your skin to form certain bonds by releasing a chemical throughout your system. It's actually really interesting. The way it works is that basically when you drink it, it releases a chemical throughout your system that causes the carbon in your skin to harden by forming bonds to each other. Basically making your heart a little tougher to pierce.
So for meta purposes, Michael, does that mean higher AC or does that mean resistant to damage?
You get a +1 to your AC for 10 minutes.
Fair enough.
I ain't sure about exactly what all that means, but it sure does sound nice.
I whip up
Appreciate
things.
it.
Yeah, you know, I whip up things every once in a while. I like to try to, make something interesting.
Really nice.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
Hey, you made me bored. I'll make you something.
You know what? I can't help it. Grievous is going to look over at Julius eating with the tiny spoon. What's he doing?
He's got
I
like
would
his
imagine eating with a tiny spoon.
yeah,
Julius.
yeah, just like lips puckered, like
God
damn it,
that's exactly what I was thinking.
You
I
look at
hate
a
it.
slightly nervous look at Grotus's face as he's eating. Grotus's face when he's eating with it, but kind of looks back at the rest of the party. Anyways, we'll best get packed up and get the horses ready to go soon.
Oh dear. And Moonstone will just quickly scarf down the rest of his oatmeal. Very good. Alright.
Fellow's actually slowly enjoying it and seems to be taking in the flavors.
Moonstone will start packing up as soon as possible.
Sure, it's easy enough.
when Julius finishes, he'll hand over the silverware and bowl back to Grotus and then start quote unquote packing up, more like stuffing the tent in a very haphazard way.
It gets in the bag eventually.
Grotus just rolls his eyes as he gets the horses put together, and after feeding them and putting their getting them attached to the wagon again.
I should mention, by the time you're already at the horses, Xavier was kind of over there, kind of, what do you call it, spoiling one.
As he does so, he just, what you doing there, Xavier?
Just giving this one a little bit of a rub. Why?
Just curious.
Yeah, he's just such a good boy. Just like legitimately spoiling this.
Grotus just kind of has a chuckle as you do it, as he pats scratches the horse's ear behind the horse's ear as well. Aye, they are, aren't they?
He's very intent on giving this horse all of the love. He nods though.
In any case, I guess we better get him ready and settled to go. We got to get moving here.
Yeah, you're right.
Looks over, shouted, Julius, you done eating over there?
Done what?
Eating.
Oh, he's been packing, still stuffing his tent.
Oh, okay. No, okay. Julius finished. It took Julius 10 times longer not to eat with a teeny spoon.
He's practiced
Follow
eating
me.
with tiny spoons, okay?
God!
You'll notice though that when you're finished with the tiny spoon, he takes it and puts it back in his little pack specifically. It goes back to cleaning.
Alright, I'm all ready to go.
Right. Marquis and Callie should be just about done with everything that they've got going. I think we can start moving on in about any time soon.
Hey, let's all get going. You said you were
Who's
going to be up
Marky
with
and
me.
Kelly?
Oh, the horses.
Oh, that's their names.
Well, they're the names I gave them just about yesterday, so...
Oh, hello, Marky. Hello, Kelly. Pats their heads and then hops on.
You three get in the back, and we'll get this going right away.
Moonstone, you called up front, right?
Oh, did?
Alright. He kind of moves on in the back.
Sure. So, with Moonstone and what were you gonna say? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, just a quick thing. Again, Gallo thanks Grotus for the meal. And like before, spoon right down the middle on top of the bowl. And pack opposite to Julius, instead of stuffing his tent into his bag, he folds it super neatly, Marie Kondo's that shit, and then gets his cloak on last and hops onto the back.
Oh my god, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Was that first innkeep we met your avatar for the game?
No, he was bald and looked like he might have orcish blood.
Okay. Was not sure.
Grotus gets
I
the
hope we meet
wagon
your
moving
avatar at some
anyways.
point.
Sure, it is easy enough. As you all start to head your way towards the Pharaoh crossing, will the two at the front take we'll call it survival checks. Well, no, we'll call it perception checks because survival would indicate you're not on a road. You're very much on the road, so don't worry about it.
So perception for us in the front.
Yeah, just perception, just as you're kind of leading the carts.
Perception. I will actually click it this time for 7.
Also, music reminder.
I hit loop. What the fuck? Hold on.
Quickly, get rid of the. Quickly spam the chat, and then we'll do perception again.
Yeah, that's so weird. I hit loop, so I don't.
Maybe it only loops for an hour.
No, it definitely doesn't. I use it through a lot on other programs, so it should.
Heck.
I gotta find out how to get my how to get Discord to stop giving me notifications when people do messages. There we go.
Okay, just mute channel.
You just
Just mute the
right
channel.
click it.
Why is it
I mean,
random
for
like
me,
that?
I go to notifications and mute to where it mentions. That's probably better in most cases.
Yeah, I got it.
You can also mute specific channels. So in this case, I already muted the rhythm.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
That's weird. I don't know why it went out.
Heck.
Yeah, it happens.
So, 13 and 7. Overall, still not a difficult journey. You keep an eye out, basically where you need to. You watch for any signs of issue, though with that roll, nothing you all notice. As you continue your second day of travel, you will
Oh.
eventually. Oh,
I was just gonna say, before we hit town, I'm assuming we're approaching the town at this point.
it's not. It is very much not a town. You can see it at a distance. It looks to be about maybe 3 or 4 buildings and a number of tents, all in this small crossing.
Okay.
It's very much, it's a stopping point for a lot of people going different ways.
So just keep going, Chris. I just need to know for the sake of my character. Yep.
So, heading towards, finally near the end of your journey, you see what is in the distance the Pharaoh crossing. Looking out towards it, only one building really makes itself distinguishable, a 3-story building which seems to be a inn of some kind. Common amongst crossings like this, a place to rest rather than having to simply sit on the edges of the road. As you all head your way, getting closer and closer, it seems right now that the Pharaoh crossing is decently busy. Looking towards it, you can see, of course, as I mentioned, the inn, as well as a few other kind of buildings that seem to be from locals that kind of just call this place home. Quickly followed by, you see a number of kind of small tents set up for what you'd assume to be people that are peddling goods of whatever kinds, as they themselves stop at the Pharaoh crossing. Okay. Yeah, as you all are heading your way, the town itself seems quite peaceful.
Grotus just bangs on the back for everybody to listen. Looks like we're here.
Oh, this is more my speed. What's the scenery look?
The scenery around, like nature-wise, or
Yeah.
It's very much what you've seen before. You can see a couple hills kind of far off in the distance. It seems that a second wood, like you've got the first one kind of behind you where you've already been traveling, that kind of links near Teleburg. There's a second one kind of further ahead, clearly kind of in front. And other than that, the hills and a bit of like kind of the plains going back and forth, nothing else you really notice. It's very quaint, very simple. Nothing too spectacular, so to say.
Spectacular in Xavier's eyes. He's just kind of looking around before sitting back in the chair, kind of slinging his arms over the back, and he's just, oh, this is nice. Now,
Brings you back home there, mate?
I'd say so, yeah. But if I recall correctly, this is the crossing, right?
Yeah. What are we supposed to do? Take a left here?
Let's
You would
see.
know
Sorry,
that you were
my brain
supposed
feels
to-
like I just went through a
It's
really
the
bad
it's the
sickness.
it's the eastern exit, I believe.
Yes, you want to take the
Eastern
the
exit.
northeastern exit that'll take you towards
Edgewater.
Edgewater?
Oh, Edgewater.
And yeah, it goes to Edgewater. There is a break in the road that then leads to Teleburg.
And we're headed to
Awesome.
Teleburg, like, ultimately, correct?
Yes, you were
Yes.
told to pick up
Okay.
the miners and then head to Teleburg.
Oh.
Alright. And which way are the miles again?
You would assume they're somewhere within the Pharaoh Crossing.
Yeah, they're around here.
Oh,
Gotta do some searching.
As you all approach, there's clear sounds of what you assume to be decent bit of like kind of workers still in the day. While the sun is certainly starting to set, it hasn't got to a point where it has completely fallen yet. Fucking push to talk is being so annoying today.
Heck.
Kind of like you can hear the sound of a smithy, a number of people attempting to peddle goods, whatever they've either brought themselves to the crossing, whatever they're going to bring further. Nothing you notice immediately as Hellman's miners, but you can just stay at the inn today instead of sleeping in a tent. So congrats.
is it getting late or?
It's getting there. It's like maybe 5-6 o'clock. There's still a lot of the day left if you wanted to do something.
How well off does everyone look?
The town
Yeah.
or the crossing? Roll a perception check.
Village.
It's not even a village. It's literally like 10 people actually live here, and everyone else just passes through.
Oof.
7? Well enough. Very basic. You see, what seem to be traders that might be heading their way either to like Edgewater or Vildervale or into the Ebon Cradle. All kind of peddling goods. You see people like, skins of animals, cuts of meat. Some people are selling like clothes and silks. Mostly just like kind of peddling what good, making what coin they can, just kind of help them buy supplies to continue on their journey, so to say. None of them look poor off, though even with a 7, you do notice there seem to be a decent number of people here that are armed.
Armed?
Armed, yes. As in, you can see most of them are wearing what you'd guess to be either like a chain shirt or scale mail, and have some kind of like not just like a defense weapon, like an actual martial weapon, like something that somebody knows how to use, not just the dagger or the blackjack you keep on your person as protection.
So it's a hamlet, but there's an establishing here. Actually, it's almost a homestead. Anyway, sorry. so
Are there any interesting figures to note out of all these, out of all this cluster of people?
Roll a perception check.
12.
12. Kind of looking towards the crowd. You see a few people that kind of like their garments and that kind of show that they're probably from Edgewater or further out from that. Very much like not local, a bit more colorful and a bit more kind of more inland. It's a lot of like just this simple kind of like for what you need clothes. A lot of places elsewhere, and especially as you go to like the Desert Bridge, it's a lot of like more flowing clothes. And you can see a couple people here that's like, they might be from the Desert Bridge passing on their way to somewhere.
Okay.
Is there
Are
anyone
there-
who's- Oh, sorry.
Just a quick thing, like races.
Yeah, looking through, it's a pretty decent smorgasbord. Again, a lot of humans, always a lot of humans. So you do see halflings, you do see elves, a few dwarves here and there. Very few, though. It seems like maybe one or two tieflings.
Mhm.
Anyone here look like they're selling something interesting or carrying anything interesting? Like,
Roll a perception check.
perception or... Okay, yeah.
It's perception. Investigation is like getting close to something and examining its specifics, like investigating a room, but searching through like a crowd to see what seems interesting for shopping is perception.
Alright.
17. Kind of looking through, there's some meats of creatures you haven't heard before. You see one that says it's of a desert hound, like desert hound meat. As well as the skin of a desert hound. Looking through some very nice colored silks. They're a bit pricey, but if you wanted to add some color, you could definitely get something like that. With a 17, the main thing that sticks out to you on the like kind of outer establishment is actually you pass by the blacksmithy. Seems to be a human man kind of working it. You notice kind of a lot of what he's selling is for self-defense, right? You're at this crossing, you want to make sure your travels are safe. So he's selling these kind of like basic weaponry, and there's one thing you notice just kind of like hanging at the back of his shop, kind of clearly on display, that's this large, it almost looks like a cricket bat. But kind of looking to the edges of it, there seem to be these almost black pieces of stone, almost forming a blade on either edge of the cricket bat.
Then someone will go down and up to the blacksmith.
Sure. He's a human male, probably in his late 50s, like a decent old man, kind of a tradesman. He kind of looks to you and he's like, "Oh, welcome, sir, welcome. Anything I can fancy you with today?"
Good on, mate. I'm just curious, what's that piece in the back there? Looks interesting.
"Oh, that!" And he kind of like looks to it and is like, bought that near 2 decades ago. It's, oh, how the fuck you call it? It's a sword. It's essentially a sword. They have some weird name for it. I ain't even gonna try to pronounce it.
Could you roll it down for me?
And I could try. I'm actually gonna make him roll an intelligence check for this. It's taking a long time. It's not great. He writes down, that's the word he writes in. He's like, Makahotl.
The Makahotl.
Hey, something like that.
Fair enough. So, what's so interesting? Like, it's an interest in the zone. What's it supposed to do?
Oh, well, funny enough, I bought it from a lizard folk. Passed by here 2 decades ago, near nothing on him except that thing. Was looking to just sell it to purchase food and keep moving on. He told me this weapon here said to be enchanted by their finest seers. A gift to their, warriors, so to say. I don't know what it does, though. It hits like a bastard, though.
Mind if I, like, within your eyesight, of course, mind if I take a quick look?
So long as you don't ruin it. And he kind of like walks up to it. You see him kind of walk. He kind of pulls it off the hook. Kind of brings it over to you. It's clearly heavy.
Yeah, you're a big bastard.
Yeah, it's this sturdy wooden frame with what looks to be kind of these obsidian shards on the edge that almost form a blade of it. You would guess with your general intelligence, this weapon, while you could use it like a sword, you could probably also bludgeon someone with it. The wood is heavy.
What is this, mahogany?
I couldn't tell you. I don't think they have mahogany in the swamps, though.
But I have any idea, like, what kind of... Like, obviously it's obsidian. Do I have any idea what the wood might be?
Roll a nature check.
Oh, boy. 10.
Yeah, it's...
What? I'm getting the 10s today.
Yeah, the swamps, specifically kind of there are swamps nearby Edgewater that lizardfolk are said to be from. You're not really sure. It's definitely not a wood you're familiar with. It almost looks like it was petrified at a point, like the wood had died. Before it was kind of carved in. It's almost got this kind of like or more whiter color to it. But it just makes it more difficult to ascertain. Looking to the weapon itself, it's this one slab of wood, a handle, which is still made of the same piece of wood and the obsidian edging, and you kind of see along it, there's this almost carving, like a picture or a kind of inscription upon it. That kind of, you see it at the very bottom. It's kind of drawn like scales, very much kind of representing the lizard folk. As it kind of gets higher and higher, you watch it twist into intertwining serpents. At the very top, kind of at the top of the piece of wood, it has what looks to be a bird's head of some kind facing upwards.
Based on my general, my general form of expertise, do I have any idea what the enchantment on this might actually do?
It will be hard to do without using an identify spell, but I'll let you roll an Arcana check to try to ascertain.
Alright, my luck's about to turn. You guys ready for this?
Right.
I
Alright.
believe.
18. It's difficult. You kind of focus on it, and it seems to be part of these drawings. Might be what's giving it an enchantment. It's definitely not like a incredibly powerful enchantment or something like unfathomable. It's simple in its make. You get this sense on this. It might be some kind of necrotic energy.
Nasty.
Just like by how the ruins look and how the blade itself is almost made of like this dead wood, black stone, it very much kind of gives this hint that it might be some form of necrotic, but to its actual effect, you're not sure.
Hey, Groudis.
Aye, what is it?
Think you could do some damage with this?
Grotus walks over to it and kind of hefts it up in his hand. Oh, probably. Why?
I look back to the smith. Said you have had about 20 years, right?
Aye, paid a good penny for it too. Thought it was interesting, and I wanted to copy the design, but you don't find stones like that easy.
Yeah, obsidian's a little bit of a bitch to get. You gotta find a volcano first, and it's a whole thing.
Aye, and I'm not going to the Ebon Maw for that.
Wouldn't blame you. Anyway,
That bad.
what would you consider like letting go of that for?
Well, I don't mind clearing the space, but like I said, I paid a good penny for it. Didn't want to cheat the man out of something he clearly treasured. I'd be looking to sell it probably around 200.
Eh, not sure. I mean, you said you've been having it here for a while, and not to mention, you don't even know what that enchantment does. Who knows? Could be cursed for all you know.
It could be. Mind you, I've swung the thing a few times. I don't think I've cursed myself with it.
Maybe after something we might come back to.
I imagine it'll still be hanging there if you change your mind.
Probably.
Grotus just kind of like hefts it all like one-handed, hands it over to the the shopkeep. Here you go.
Oh, thank you. And he kind of like reaches out, clearly kind of preparing for the weight. Grotus, with your general like expertise with weaponry, you get the sense that this would very much count as a longsword, and it can be used to do either bludgeoning or slashing damage, your choice.
Ooh. Well, I definitely like the sounds of that.
Yeah, I lean over to him
Worth
like,
looking into.
I lean over into Grotus. I'm like, it also does something with necrotic energies. Not entirely certain, but it's definitely got a hint of that field of life magic.
Interesting. Maybe we'll come back for it after the job.
Yeah, that's,
And as I said, unless interest rate suddenly booms, I doubt it's going to sell.
fair enough. Well, thanks for satisfying my curiosity. Mind if I actually do this? And Moonstone takes out his sketchbook. Get a quick sketch of that.
No, not at all. Not costing me nothing.
So I'm just gonna quickly try to copy the design of the weapon and and pay a little bit more attention to the carvings on it.
I'll say one thing
Me.
Grotus is
It's-
doing, though, while that's all occurring, is he's just kind of looking around to see if anybody's eyeing up the party in any way.
Sure, go for
I was about to say the same thing.
Gallo's just carving.
Natty
No.
one.
Could I try?
I'll let one other person try, sure.
I will do it.
Well, rather than
Hey!
look-
And that's all the luck.
21?
for tonight.
I technically expended it before with my previous rolls before this campaign even began.
So, kind of looking around, there's some people clearly like you're the newest people to just arrive. There's some people you see like as you kind of turn to the man selling silk, he's like, friend, come by, just trying to sell you whatever he can. Nothing out of the ordinary, though. You do notice a few of the armed individuals do kind of like just take note of like new people arriving with weapons.
Xavier winks
you get
slash
notice-
nods at people indiscriminately. But anyway, what?
You notice very much they don't seem like guards. They're a bit too well armored to be guards. A lot of them are using like bladed, like long swords or axes, like very much not guard usually equipment. You usually use spears or short swords. You also notice there's a small, like each of them has a small kind of hood that's kind of like leaned down, and looking to it, there seems to be a drawing or kind of a sewn in picture of a single twisting horn. Like almost like a ram's horn that goes backwards and then twists once.
Okay.
Xavier kind of nudges Gallo and kind of relays all of that, and afterwards he's just like, I don't really know too much about this, but like, there ain't no like, I don't know, military or something around here, right?
Gallo looks away from. He had been idly carving at a small part of the carriage where no one would really notice with his dagger.
Gallows here, yep.
And does he recognize these? Do they look like guilds or something he's seen
Definitely not
before?
a guild. This would be a pretty high history check because it's just like not recognizable, so to say. But you can roll a history check on it.
Okay.
We'll call it a DC 18.
Believe.
You're fairly certain, judging by how they look, how they're operating, and the fact they don't look like guards, but they're still kind of in the town almost acting as it. You're fairly certain it's probably military or probably mercenaries.
Okay. He gives all of them a look over, noting the armor and noting the kind of weapons that they have, and he leans over to Xavier in return, just like, I don't recognize the symbol, however. They're not guards, nor military. They might be higher, though, I'd say mercenary. Just, all of you keep your nose out of that. You should be fine. And, he, after that, looks over a bit more and gets down, passes by Grotus and Moonstone, and looks at the shopkeep and says, with his posture straightens the further in he goes, and
the blacksmith, by the way?
Yeah,
Okay.
passing by to the blacksmith just because the others are there. His posture, which is usually slumped over, is now straight, and he gives him a polite smile. It's just good evening, sir.
Afternoon. Can I help you with anything?
You happen to pass by any miners around here?
Kind of thinks on it for a moment. Miners come through the town enough. Some of them heading to the Ebon Cradle, others heading to Teleburg. Can't say I've taken note of any immediately, but I mean, if you're looking to find some, imagine it'd be best to check out the Broken Hammer. And he kind of like just gives a gesture towards the large kind of 3-story tavern. or inn. More of an inn than a tavern.
Alright. Will do. Thank you, sir. That's all I
Happy
need.
to help. Hope luck finds you.
And he gives a nod, and the smile drops as soon as he turns away. And he nods to Grotus and Moonstone, since they heard that first, and then looks over to the other two and nods towards the inn. Unless you two need anything here, they might be in the inn.
I think we're good. Let's get the job on the go.
Julius has been outside the whole time.
I think I'm done here, but I'll come back to that later. So.
Julius, we're heading in.
While they were inside, though, looking around, does it look like there's anyone who's struggling or needs a bit of help with anything,
Roll a
or...
perception check. Or did I already have you do this one? I didn't have you
What?
do this yet, no.
Same
Yeah.
roll.
Oh, I did. I did, and you rolled a 7. Exactly, that's right.
The universe knows how to correct itself.
Struggling? No. It's... You very much get a sense, because this isn't like a place where a lot of people live, it's very much they don't have poorer folk.
No, not poor folk. I just mean, like, if anyone looks like they're having trouble carrying something, or...
In other words, you got a
irritated,
Boy
just-
Scout.
Oh, you're trying
Yeah,
to... Yeah,
like-
okay. I got you.
Oh god, we don't need a Superman.
Looking
We
with
already
a
got a
7,
Batman. Those two don't play well. We already know that.
Looking with a 7, the most you notice, to the right side of the inn, kind of built around its back side, there seems to be a small storage as well as like stables. And you see kind of an older dwarvish man who seems to be not struggling with the feed, but clearly kind of moving at a bit slower of a pace as he's kind of just... He doesn't have any like real equipment for it. He's just... Well, it's not feed, it's a hay bale. He's just kind of like dragging it.
Julius will walk over. Excuse me, sir.
What?
Sorry to bother you. Do you need a bit of assistance?
Oh, assistance. Did my wife send you?
What's that?
Did my
Okay.
wife send you?
Oh no, I'm waiting for my friends who are inside, and I just noticed you over here.
Well, sure, lad. I don't mind it, I suppose. Here, if you can just pick up the other end, we're just bringing this to the last trough.
Oh, sure thing. Julius will go to do that.
Sure. It's a single hay bale, and between two people, it's easy enough. The hay bale itself probably weighs maybe 30 pounds. It's not too difficult. The two of you you bring it over, you put it in the trough, you watch him you watch him kind of take a dagger, take a small knife, and he kind of just cuts the twine off of it, collects. He's like, thank you, lad, that was kind of you.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. I'm happy to help.
Hate to admit I need help these days, Age even catches up to dwarves, unfortunately.
I'm sorry to hear that. Do you need assistance with anything else?
No. I ain't got much work left today. Nothing big either. Me working just in the kitchen a bit, nothing too heavy. Thank you, though, lad. It's kind to see young folk looking for older ones.
Oh no, it is no problem at all. I do wish you a good rest of your day, though.
You as well.
He gives a polite little bow, and then
Yeah.
turns and walks off.
The old dwarf just kind of gives you a wave. You watch him enter through a back door into the tavern.
So the rest of the group, when they're walking out, probably see him leaving an alley or something.
It's not an alley. You can see the stable. It's a clear stables. You're not out of you're not sucking people off in the back alley. Don't worry about it.
Garrow comes to Gala goes the wrong conclusions right there.
God.
I
Maybe
see
just
how
gonna
he
search
was
for
helping the
Julius.
old
I should
man.
mention.
Sure. Doesn't take long. You probably catch him at the end of his conversation with the old dwarf.
Giving the
Hey.
guy a bow and then wiping off his hands as he comes back.
You coming?
On my way. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're fine. What was that all about?
Oh, just the old fella seemed like he was having a bit of difficulty carrying the hay.
Oh, well, ain't that mighty nice of you.
What? No. I am young and spry, and he looks like he's coming along in age, so doesn't hurt to help.
Well, aren't you a sweet young man?
Very kind of you.
Come on, let's continue on.
I agree.
Alrighty.
As Crota just starts walking towards the designated spot.
Sure thing.
By the
Entering
way,
into the broken hammer. Oh, go ahead.
Just a quick question. The tiefling, do they look friendly? Are there any more of them, or is it just two?
There's two you notice. Both of them seem to be silk salesmen.
Okay.
Well, one of them is the one that's kind of trying to bring people to the small tent they've got. You got a sense, yeah, they're just trying to sell to make a bit of coin before they move on. They seem friendly enough, though would very much depend on, actually talking to them. It's hard to tell at a first glance.
Okay.
But they are businessmen. You also would know, I mentioned it earlier, and was going to specifically talk about it, but you would know at one of the stalls they're selling desert hound meat and skin of it, like the leather of it. You would know a desert hound is a terrifying predator of Seramis and the Desert Bridge. You would also know that its fur is very light and often used in a lot of kind of clothing to resist heat.
Okay.
You would also know it's illegal as shit to kill one in Seramis.
Oh, so having its hide is
Ew.
so having its hide like outside of Seramis is fine, but if you were caught wearing that in it, even if you didn't kill it, you'd be definitely in trouble.
It's like you can kill one in self-defense. They understand these are vicious creatures when not tamed. But the Desert Hound is also the symbol to one of the twin gods of Seramis, and it's very much viewed as not good to wear a Desert Hound like leather anywhere in the city.
All right, but outside the city, no one cares.
Outside the city, barely anyone knows what a Desert Hound is. You can roll a nature check if you want to kind of get additional info on it. By the way, Gala, up to you.
Okay. Sure, why not? He will definitely raise a brow at what they're selling, though. Nature 12.
12? You know a bit about them. They are often the symbol for the god Isil, the great hound of the moon. He kind of represents a lot of the more vicious side of Seramis. He's a god of war, of storms, of death in the grave, and of order. Desert hounds are, to give you kind of like a visual idea, has anyone here played the Dragon Age series?
I have not.
No.
God,
Yes.
ages ago.
They look
But I
like
have.
they kind of look like a Mabari hound.
Can someone put that on screen for me?
It's like this short, like this very like incredibly muscular looking dog, kind of flat nosed face, no tail, very thin but like kind of clear coat. You would know with a 12, the thing that makes them so dangerous, Gallo,
Ooh.
is if you're attempting to walk through the desert bridge near its borders, kind of near where it meets the ocean, the desert hounds are almost always there, and it's like they're pack hunters.
It's like a feral mastiff.
Yeah, but it's large. That thing is like that's about like 4 or 5 feet tall.
Damn.
Standing like that. They are not to be trifled with, and are one of the 3 like great predators of the Desert Bridge. It's like on the inside of if you like walk through the mainland, it's like you got to deal with Thrycreen. If you walk near the water, it's like you got to deal with the desert hounds.
Okay.
Moonstone will walk up to Gallus and just be like, "You're looking at them, like."
They have some interesting wares, and he points out to the desert hound leathers. And just out of curiosity, he'll do a little wave at the salesman there.
Of course,
And,
kind of looks to you. He's very kind of human skinned, and you see His tiefling features are very small in comparison to a lot of them. Very kind of a human dark skin tone, with only these like small twin horns that maybe go just a bit above his hairline, and that's it.
Okay.
Friend, interested in anything from the great city of Saramis?
He says in Infernal, in a sort of friendly tone, just like, you got something interesting there.
Kind of takes a moment. He gives kind of like this small chuckle. It's like, aye, it, not my pleasure to kill the thing, but, was on its last legs. Feel I might as well make a profit of it.
Someone else attack it first before you.
Potentially. Came across it, and he kind of shows you, you can see a bit on the leather. There's this large kind of gash where the ribs are kind of like under stomach would have been.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of look at it, it's like, I'd guess a Thrycreen, but wasn't around to see it attacked. Was only around to put it down. Skinned it, have its meat, doesn't seem to be poisoned, so could have been anything, honestly.
Anyone else here know what it's for?
Hmm,
You just took it to sell it.
just took it to sell it. No point in letting it rot in the desert, right?
And he's also going to take a quick look around the silks, the other things that are there.
Sure.
Anything of interest?
You would know that Ceramis is very prized for the silk that it makes, due to a specific number of people that are said to, a specific number of insects that are said to live around the Great Oasis. They can produce it at a much kind of finer, like, think of like a finer thread count than most people in a medieval society would be able to do. It's this like thick, almost velvet-like silk. You see they've got a decent number of rolls. You get the sense very much they peddle these to whatever city will take them, as they're often fetch quite a high price. You see it in a couple different colors, and kind of this like verdant green, a deep red, kind of one in this like almost Ceramis like royal colors yellow. They look nice, but you've seen it before.
Okay.
Moonstone will look at this desert hound hide and look back over to Gallus. It's like, oh, Mike, do you know this thing's got any unique properties? Looks a little funny.
With a 12, the desert hound is not a magical creature. It is adapted to its environment. But nothing really, like, it's high quality leather and fur. But other than that, it's not magical or anything. Wouldn't give any special properties to attempt to distill something from it.
Alright. Alright, I'll go ahead into the inn.
Sure.
Right. Gallon, he gives everything a look over, gives a nod, and gives the salesman one more smile. Just like, I think I'll be good for the day, but thanks for telling me your story. Glad you're here.
You as well, friend. If you get homesick, feel free to buy something. May the hawk and the hound guide you. Which you know is just a common kind of like goodbye.
And you as well. And he turns around and follows in.
Sure
And
thing.
the first thing that he's going to do is, when he enters the inn, is scan the whole area. Who's there? What's the layout look like?
Sure thing. The base of the tavern is quite large. Entering into it, it seems to be a bit muggy in here. Like, it's not the cleanest place. There's very much kind of that stench of like dried ale that is soaked into floorboards. A bit of kind of that like food that maybe needs to be kind of taken out a bit more smell, but it's not a bad or kind of revolting place. Entering in, you see a number of kind of folk around. Some you see like kind of one table. It seems to have like maybe 4 or 5 of those mercenaries about. They seem to be having kind of this very low kind of just like simple talk, not under their breaths, but very much not being boisterous about it. You see another group that seems to be a group of dwarves that are actually attempting to kind of have little contests between themselves. They seem to be playing a dice game, which you'd probably know, just called Killer Six. Other than that, it's a couple folk that are just sitting off by their lonesome at the bar. You see a human woman kind of behind the bar serving drinks. She seems to be probably mid-30s. There is a bard in the tavern. He seems to be an elvish man, kind of sitting at the back of the bar on this single stool playing what seems to be a well-tuned lute. Playing a rather kind of like somber and like low sitting tone. You kind of enter in, nobody really pays you any mind. You're just travelers coming through the Broken Hammer, like it happens every day.
Wow, that's unusual for me. Alright, I'll go sit down at the bar.
Sure, you kind of sit down, the human woman goes over to you and is like, welcome there, lad, sorry.
Wow, okay.
Look,
Oh,
it's just the accent, shut up.
Oh,
I'll
no,
get you
yeah.
anything.
I'll take a water for now, but have you seen any? We're actually here looking for some miners. What was the mine they are supposed to be? Where are we supposed to be picking them up?
Here. At the Feral Crossing.
We're supposed to be looking for some miners. 4 dwarves and a gnome.
He kind of points to the table where you see 4 dwarvish men, or 2 dwarvish men, 2 dwarvish women, and a gnome.
Oh, perfect.
You see they were the ones playing the dice. The gnome is kind of hard to spot amongst the other short folk, but
yeah,
still there.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, thank you. And I'll put down a silver.
She takes it, and she kind of like takes a pitcher, just pours like a small thing of water for you. That's what you asked for, right?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, she slides that to you.
Thanks.
Pleasure.
I just turned to everyone else. I'm like, found him.
Xavier looks like
when we entered in, actually.
Xavier kind of looks like he was staring at the gnome, but kind of raises his hat, pushes his hair back just a bit, and puts it back down. Doesn't say much, and kind of looks at the rest of the group. Oh, so is that everyone, or?
Should be. 4 dwarves,
Right.
1 gnome. Should be good to go.
Got it.
Looking, they seem to be, you see each of them kind of, they've both got these like small kind of bowls. They put a die in it, they shake it, kind of placed on the table, and as they lift it, they seem to be shouting out letters. You hear like L, E, and then like one of them like, fucking damn it! Kind of like slams the bowl on the table. You just hear everyone else get like a small like, hey!
Kind of
Seems to
whispering to Moonstone. He's like, I thought we were going for the like underground miners, not the underage.
Now, why? Are you talking about the short one? Like the really
Yeah.
short one?
Yeah.
That's a gnome.
Unless. Oh damn! I'm sorry.
Was it? Better yes, me than him.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Just yeah, and kind of gives him a slap on the back for good measure before kind of stopping, staring at this person, looking off, and somewhat guilty, but
Sure, you can see the gnome. He seems to be reading something. Looks somewhat aged. Probably, maybe a century or 2 into his life. Kind of this slicked back black hair. He's kind of got like a widow's peak, a bit too much forehead kind of thing. Well enough clothes. He seems to be in better looking clothes than the dwarves, for sure. And he's not really participating in the game at all.
Moonstone will walk over and say in Dwarvish, "So, what you lots playing?"
Are you giving it that accent as well?
No.
Okay. Just
was
to
like,
make
what the-
sure.
What you lots playing?
You kind of watch the male dwarf who just seemingly lost kind of looks over to you and he's like, Killer Sixes, kid. Never heard of it?
Have I heard of it?
Roll an intelligence check.
Okay. 8.
You've seen it been played. You don't really know it, but it's like the whole like concept of calling out the letters, like they're spelling killer. You don't know the point of the game, though.
I've actually never heard. I've seen it. Never actually learned how to play it.
the male dwarf, and it's like, if you want to play, I'm fucking done with this shit. He like stands
alright.
up from the table, and he's like, fucking half-ass, fucking die, don't want to choose my fucking.
Oh,
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
before you go, I'll take your place. But before you go, me and my associates here, as I gesture back to everyone, where are your bodyguards for Hammond's? We're here to take you back to Hammond's mine.
Kind of that the gnome kind of chirps. I was like, oh, finally, good. We've been waiting on. Kind of like starts looking. It's like, where's Hellman?
He had some business here to take care of.
Of course he did. How many of you are there?
This many, and I hold up 5 fingers.
Go looks around. Is everybody here?
Did everybody go into the tavern? Did somebody not?
Yeah.
I think everyone did.
I went in. Julius went in, but he's like off in the corner, like listening to this
Yeah.
bard.
Sure. Seems to be, like I said, a very kind of very low, almost like depressing song.
Would he recognize it?
Roll a history check.
This is a path I must trudge. I welcome my sentence.
21. You have
The bard is actually Judah.
the song that he's playing is a rather common. It's actually like famous in a lot of human lands, called the Lament of Osiris.
Before I continue, would you be able to answer the question I messaged?
Oh, no. If it didn't come with your stuff, you
Okay.
can try to work on it to perhaps get it.
Okay.
But no. You would know the song is about a man who the love of his life has unfortunately passed away, and his begging the gods to take his life instead of hers.
Is there like a little spot where he's taking tips?
Yeah.
Julius will drop a gold coin.
Sure. He keeps singing, just kind of looks to you and gives you kind of a nod, and he kind of like a little thank you without interrupting before continuing on. Just this, yeah, very low song that I don't really want to sing.
Fair enough.
Julius will turn back towards the group, wiping away a tear from his eye, and then heading over.
Grota stands over behind Moonstone. Yeah, there's 5 of us here. I think you're all ready to get going then for this little trip.
Well, probably tomorrow.
And Old guy thinks it's like, I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping there'd be more of you. Girls really aren't looking nice these days.
We're plenty enough.
I'd say so.
Grotus looks at the party, turns back to the gnome and goes, what is it you're all scared of down this road anyways?
Well, in the last week or so, it seems the goblins to the north have become a lot more eager. A few groups have already been attacked on their way into town, into the crossing. We've seen their injured coming through. I don't mean to doubt you, friend, but it's just a numbers game at this point. They've been counting at least a dozen of them.
Grotus kind of laughs and he leans down at the gnome. I wouldn't worry. I've been able to kill 8 of them myself single-handedly before.
Not to mention I could probably get around 3 of them before they even reach the wagon.
Roll a perception check. Or roll a persuasion check.
Oh, goody.
Am I consider helping him?
I'll say sure. For the sake of this.
So I can roll with advantage? Or I guess, are you proficient with persuasion, though? Because that's the difference.
I am not, but
Does-
I have a plus
Oh,
2.
No,
Does
You
Chris
can,
use that roll?
depends on it. If you're doing something that's very like skill intrusive, like doing a performance or something like that, it might require proficiency from one or both parties. With talking, no, it won't.
Oh, goody. Grotus's persuasion is garbage. Here we go, guys.
I believe in you.
14. It's not bad. With the advantage, not bad.
You got
Me giving a thumbs up at my monitor.
kind of things. And it's like, look, I don't doubt you. Would you all be willing to perhaps wait a day or two, though? There's supposed to be another group of those mercenaries passing by, and if we could go with them, we'd avoid any worry.
I mean, I'm not real keen on staying here. Besides, Hammond wants this done as soon as possible.
I'm well aware of what Hellman wants. Jamie's not here.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned. What's this mercenary group you're speaking of?
Well, that's kind of looks them there, the Red Horns. Supposedly they're hired out of Teleburg. Funny enough, working there for the I don't even know what his title is. The man who owns all the mines.
Are these mercenary that you're planning to spend coin on?
Well, that's just it. They are going to return to Teleburg anyways. If we can just walk beside them, no reason to have to pay them or have to hire them.
Mercenary tend to be the lot that do these sort of services for coin. For all
Like
we
us.
know, they might. It's might not be as easy of a trip as you think. Honestly, we are a good group of adventurers. We are rather skilled at what we do. You can trust us.
Moonstone will actually kneel down to get eye level with him and say in Gnomish.
Oh,
Your safety will be a priority, mate. I promise you that.
He thinks on it, and with the 14 that kind of Grodus got earlier, he's like, look, alright, but be known, despite what my wife says, we're not fighters. She's a fighter, that's about it. We're miners.
Wait a minute. Crotus, I guess if he's speaking in Gnomish, I don't know that language.
No. It's
You're in the
not
best of
believe
hands.
in you, but Hellman's an odd one, and I have to admit, I'm losing faith in this job by the day.
Well, hopefully we can get you back into where you're supposed to be and get you back to your work, and we'll get things squared away. Just this one will say, we'll make sure you get there safely. If anything happens, we'll I look at everyone. We see any danger coming our way, why don't we form a protective circle around the carriage, make sure nothing gets to them.
You're gonna be fine. We'll make sure you're taken good care of.
Alright.
Cross my heart.
if you're truly worried, you could keep close to myself.
True.
Look,
Julius is pretty
I'll just make
capable.
this clear. I'll put faith in you on this. You've got the half-orc. There are sturdy people. The rest of you don't look half bad either. We're not fighters. And I'm going to make sure that they don't fight. Despite their sometimes eagerness. I just want to make that clear.
Perfectly. You got it, mate.
Alright, I'll make sure everything's organized. We'll be ready for tomorrow then.
Great. Now, and he'll turn back to the dwarves and say in Dwarvish, so, how do you play this game?
He kind of looked to the female that he was losing against. She's much older, whites in the hair, kind of. You see there's a bit of scarring, kind of where it looks like something happened to one of her ears, and it kind of looks like it kind of like whatever damage happened to the ear kind of also hit the side of her face. She kind of looks to you. It's like, simple, kid. It's a game of luck. You take one of these, and she holds up like a small die, like a D6 die. It's like, you put it in the cup, slam it down. You call the letter that we're on. If you roll a 1, you lose. If you don't, you keep going. If we make it through the entire word, then whoever rolled the highest numbers wins.
Alright. Is this just for fun?
No. She takes out a silver and puts it on the table. We'll go with a beginner's bet for you, though, if you want to try.
Sure. Why not? I'll put down a silver.
Sure. She kind of throws you a d6, and like one of the small cups if you don't have one of your own. She kind of like, you watch her put hers in it, she gives it like 2 quick shakes and like slams it on the table, waits for you to kind of follow suit.
I will follow suit.
Sure. She calls it out, just like as you slam it down. She's like, "Ready, K!" and roll a d6.
What's the word we're spelling out again?
Killer, Killer.
Oh, that's a D5. D6?
D6. 5.
Aye!
So, not bad. Still 5 rounds, though. She does it again. Aye!
Wait, I said I.
No, you both go one letter at a time. Like you're going at the same letter. You have to do 6 rounds together.
Oh, so K,
so
K, I.
K-I-L. You're going, yeah, you go at the same time.
Oh, okay.
That way nobody tries to cheat the other, so to say.
Okay, so I, then?
Yeah, this is I, and you lose.
Ah.
Gallo is
And just like that. And she kind of like puts a finger on the silver and like drags it over to her.
Alright. Yeah, that was fun.
It's a good game to pass the time when you're waiting on guardsmen.
You know, we took our sweet time getting here.
You're not too late, don't worry about it.
In any case, I suggest we all get the right sleep and get ready for the morning. Got a long trip ahead of us.
I mean, day's still young, ain't it?
It's like 6 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Not the youngest day, but a bit there.
A few hours still.
Yeah, you could call that an early night if you wanted to.
Yeah, it's the early night. Still plenty to do. Or at least.
He looks over at you. Xander, like, and exactly what do you plan on doing in this town?
Well, saw some pretty hills.
3 buildings.
I'll take a blanket, lie up there for a bit.
So, Grotus just looks at you. So your intention of doing something before we get an early night is to rest before you get an early night.
Well, not rest necessarily, just relax, you know?
In any case, I want to be I prefer if we're up at the crack of dawn. We got to keep moving. Goblins like it at the night. Better to move during the day in the hours of light.
Who the hell goes to bed at 6 p.m. only to wake up at 6 a.m.? Give yourself a few hours, man.
I'm not worried about leaving. We're not waking at 6 a.m. We're on the road by 6 a.m. We're up at 4 a.m.
Yeah, either way, I guess I'll just fall asleep on the hill.
I woke up. Listen, I spent all night studying for things. This ain't anything new to me.
Well, either way, I wanted to catch the sunset while it goes underneath, so I'm gonna go over to the hills. If anybody wants to join me, you can.
Actually, do you mind some company? I've never actually seen that before.
Oh, you're in
Like,
for a
you've
treat,
never
man.
seen a
It's the
sunset?
best. Nah. It's when the sunset, specifically on a higher hill, the light hits the sky correctly in the right place, and it's just serene.
Yeah, I grew up
Wow.
in the city. Not really, been much one for, things like that.
Then you should come.
It's actually rather nice in the desert.
And then you should imagine what it's like in the valley.
I've seen him before, but I suppose it doesn't hurt to go again. Fine.
Hoo-wee! I got everyone.
But he looks at you and puts his finger. We go to bed after. Like I said, we gotta get this early in the morning.
Right. Damn, you're like mama.
Early rising takes out one thing I had in mind, so...
Moonstone
Cronus
rolls his
raises
eyes.
an eyebrow at that.
That goes completely over his head.
He looks over to Grotus, who seems to catch it. And
Moonstone rolls his
just
eyes.
like, unless something quick, stares at him.
Nope. And I told you we ain't doing that.
And that's his choice to make, not yours, Moonstone.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
6 is talking
Either
about
way.
6.
Oh, wait, you're trying to fuck Grotus?
I'm
Wait,
trying to
what?
fuck all of you.
Wait.
Huh?
Uh,
I'm gonna go over to that hill now.
let me
And
join
starts
you.
walking away.
Moonstone will follow.
Sure.
Julius follows.
So-
Gives Moonstone a side eye.
I told you.
So-
I will message him and just be like, I told you we ain't fucking our co-workers.
You're the one who ruined it, so...
No, you ruined it
Rules
the moment you
are-
started.
I was asking. I would have let him choose. And just walks off.
Sure. So,
I'm putting an end to this, damn it!
just to the hill at the back of the, like, behind the tavern. Heading your way there, you kind of watch out as the, it kind of goes to start setting in the east. It's neat to see, and as you kind of look out towards it, it seems to be falling over some of the forest that kind of hides to the east. That kind of deep red starts to take the sky for but maybe 15 minutes before it starts to actually just completely fade away.
Moonstone would have actually been working on designing that shield again, just trying to figure it out.
As the sun
Sure.
begins to hit the horizon, Xavier would just start fucking snapping over at Moonstone like, hey, you're gonna miss it.
Hold on. Alright, give me a sec. Alright, what's... Yeah, that does look nice.
It is a nice sight.
Xavier is reclined back on a nice quilted blanket, and he's just
What does this quilt look like?
it's a little bit run down. One could almost liken it to almost, I want to say, kind of
You cut off there, what?
serape.
Is this a sort of something that you do often?
Not much to do over in Kelligan. It's just nice, especially.
If there's not much to do, then what do you do in the morning?
Tend to the animals, the farm, the fish. Fishing mostly, but still. I don't know. It's like, you ever really think about how each and every single sunrise and sunset, moonrise, moonset, everything keeps on moving.
Oh, hey, that's just how celestial bodies work, right?
Well, yeah, but lives, people, animals, nothing ever stops.
You know, it's just a flow of energy.
Well, yeah, but still, I think there's a beauty to it.
It's sort of with how things keep moving.
I'd say so.
Hmm.
What exactly did you say?
With how, basically with how things keep moving.
Yeah, okay, then his response is still there.
Gallo doesn't say anything, but he looks pensive at the thought. Just watching the clouds with his eyes forward.
It's like, things would get stagnant if things stayed the same for too long, and the world constantly keeps on moving. Nothing's ever quite the same.
Constantly changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
You think you're the same that you were yesterday?
You guys
May
talked
look
at the same
like it.
time?
Sorry. Go ahead.
People tend to say the same.
Maybe they look like it, but even by small little bits, I mean, hell, if you hang around with me for too long, you might end up speaking on how I speak, for example.
I mean, I really can.
That ain't around other places, telling you that right now.
I was taught to speak proper. Not to say that your way of speaking is not proper, but...
No, I've been hearing the way that y'all speak. It's kind of passing through the cities. And he kind of tries a very terrible way, proper way of speaking.
Proper.
But
Gallo snorts at that.
I can't do it, even if I try. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, it's just like proper.
Proper.
You know what? Just for shits and giggle, Grotus turns him in a dwarf and goes proper, which sounds like Gunda!
No, come on.
Gunda.
He was getting there. He was getting there. Proper.
Pro.
Say
I
pro.
give up. I give up. I give
No,
up. Nah,
no,
nah, I
you
can't. I can't. I
You
can't.
can't do this. Just
Oh,
say
my God.
pro.
Damn, you're making my ass itch. Ah, fine.
That's a new one.
Pro.
Per.
Per.
No, per.
Per.
Now combine the two.
Proper.
Yeah, this exactly.
Close enough.
That is exactly it. You got it, see?
Felt
Yes.
weird. I just cut
Proper.
out an entire letter.
Sort of a way, odd way of speaking, yes, but it's
Sounds butchered to me. I don't know.
Well, his version includes ours specifically.
I mean, language is fluid, so it's really only uses to help communicate. What's
And
really
we're back.
say what's proper.
Original part of my conversation. Everything keeps moving. That's why I like it. Because things keep moving, we have proper, like you, and the more calmer ways that Gale speaks. Everyone, which the ways you speak, it's all because everything keeps on moving. Everything keeps on developing. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, that's a fair outlook, I
You're-
suppose.
You're gonna keep likely getting smarter, Moonstone.
No, that's inevitable.
And you're gonna probably turn into something greater and greater as you keep on going, Julius. I don't know what you're exactly going on about, Gallo, but I'm sure you got some goal that you're aiming for. You're gonna get better at it, and as with you, pointing over towards Grotus, nothing stays the same. It improves, detriments, or completely flips on its head, but that's what I like about the world. It's part of why I'm out here, actually.
I can respect that.
Changes keep on happening, and it's up to us to decide if it is for the better or worse.
True, but you know, Moonstone, you actually did give a good point. And he looks up over at the sky. Sunsets, they never really do change, but oddly enough, they never get old.
Grotus is gonna stand up after that and stretch. In any case, I'm turning in for bed. I suggest the rest of you do the same, because I'll be getting you up at 4.
Yeah, what time is it now? Like what? 8? 7?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you're right. I should start packing up shop, although I frankly could just sleep right here. But ain't there like weird desert hounds or something around here? I should probably be a bit more careful.
Wait, what?
They're just
Yeah.
They're
mercenaries.
not desert hounds.
Not this area.
7
The
intelligence!
name,
Yeah, no, we got
the
it.
name hints to their location.
Why do you
Well,
think
I don't
there's
know.
desert hounds here, Xavier? They're not in the desert.
Hey.
Well, they're-
Animals often
just
go
that-
outside of their boundaries whenever they get hungry enough.
But
You
not
know,
by
100
tens of thousands of. Grotus just kind of rubs his temples.
Don't hurt yourself, Grotus.
You know, I recently heard through the grapevine an adventure is fighting cave dragons that's usually found only in the desert.
There's underground dragons?
I'm making a reference.
Oh. Yeah, that.
I think I'm going to stay here just an hour or two longer.
Nikki made us fight a fucking cave dragon the other day.
Dabs.
Well, you guys are welcome, because I had that in my sheets.
Fuck you,
Motherfucker.
Eve. Fuck you.
Satan! No, but
I had 2 first level spells!
replying to Julius, he's just like, alright, I might actually stay out here too, so I will go to bed. Either I'm gonna fall asleep here or something, but either way. Don't worry about me, Grotus.
It's okay.
I'm gonna head in, work on my design a bit more, and then probably hit the hay.
Fair enough. I'll be by the wagons.
Right.
Not gonna rain in.
That's what I'm laying it in. I'm sleeping by the wagons.
Alright.
Night, y'all.
Right.
Or
See you
kinda-
in the morning.
Have a good night's sleep.
Sure. So, everyone, but yes.
Oh, just gotta stay there probably a bit more. But he just kind of sits there, not saying anything.
All right.
Well, he's gonna. He turns his back and just watches the merchants at night and the people that come in.
Yep, Julius is just quietly watching the remaining
sorry.
amount of sun setting.
I would like to say that Xavier might try to talk to Julius, but we could probably do that outside of the session if you want.
So whatever. Sorry, what were you... Repeat what you were doing, Zaku? I think I missed some of that. Repeat what you were doing?
He turns his back to... When the sunset ends, he's gonna turn his back to it and look to watch the merchants. And just the people coming in and out of the area at night.
How long are you gonna sit out and watch?
Maybe for like half an hour, and then he will join Grotus to the wagon.
Sure.
Actually, when he goes over there, he's gonna talk to Grotus. If that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
Yeah. So, as he finishes up watching people, he gets up and dusts away whatever grass and dirt is on him, and he says, "Night." And then heads over.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah. Look. Heads over.
Heads over to Grotus. And where is he at right now?
Right now, he's just kind of patting down the horses, taking care of them, and he's kind of in a haystack, has his blanket ready to go back to sleep. This time, you notice so that the blanket he's pulled out is more like the color of hay.
Mm-hmm. He stands over him.
Did you want something there, Gallo?
Well, we said we'd talk.
Oh, about that, eh? I overheard you saying something about being one who knows things, right?
Yeah. And he will find a place to sit close by Grotus, so he's still in line of sight, but somewhere above, somewhere on the carriage probably, and cross his legs.
Well, if you haven't guessed it, I've been out exploring for adventuring, as they put it, for 5 years for a reason.
Hmm.
There's something I'm looking for. Something specific. And he's just gonna pull out what looks to be a back end of an arrow with the unique plumage on the for the fletching of the arrow, where the feather part of the arrow.
Mm-hmm. He looks over, and he bends down to take it, if he's allowed to.
Yep, he'll hand it to you.
Take it, look it over. Does this look familiar to me at all?
It looks like like I said, it looks like the fletching of an arrow and the back half of it. Kind of looking to it, the fletching is this unique color. Whatever feathers it was taken from is... I just want to make sure I don't reverse them. What did I say earlier? Was it blue and red or red and blue?
Let me double check. Great situation.
I'm
looking it over. I got all my notes here.
Yeah, I've got them all too. I just need to kind of remember exactly what I said.
That color.
2 door settlements. A red base with a blue tip.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Looking to it, it's unique in its coloring. For the sake of this, roll me a nature check.
Nature.
Yeah, it looks like a bird's feather. You couldn't really discern exactly you.
Is it the 3 or the 21? I'm not
It's
sure.
a 3, unfortunately.
Okay.
Man, this is what I hate when rolling about with advantage all the time. Is you always get to see the
Yeah, but this might
Oh.
the reason that you don't know if something applies.
That's fair.
It's. You know, birds are pretty rare in Ceramus. Aside from the kind of almost revered hawks that are mostly kept, like, they're not the hawks that live in the wild. They're mostly called
messenger
sandstone
birds.
hawks. Yeah, they're called sandstone hawks. Only found in very few places in Ceramus. That's really, like, aside from your time outside of Ceramus, like, those are all you've seen in years.
Okay.
Kind of looking towards it. It's a unique color. It's a very nice color, but nothing you can place on its origin or, you know, the type of bird or anything like that, unfortunately.
He will run his fingers over all the feathering and asks, "Nice. What kind of bird?"
I'm not 100% certain. I've been able to identify it down to a couple. So far, my primary beliefs are that it is, no, 1 second. It comes from a monster bird named, Praeton.
Praeton.
Aside from, the other two. The other is it's an emperor cardinal. Is for the other one, I suspect. But as he looks up and says, to be honest, the type of bird doesn't really matter that much. What I want to know is a sort of person that uses an arrow like that. The fletching's the only clue I got.
Does Gallo know any kind of person who does this?
I will let you roll a history check.
History. I'm not good at that. 8.
8. Kind of trying to think that people with these unique, so to say, tastes. Yeah, it's really unfortunate today. There's no one that you can think of with this kind of eccentric taste. A feather like this is identifiable and thus kind of like not a good idea kind of thing. There's certainly some options, but yeah, no one that you can pin is like kind of the eccentric or that would have access to whatever kind of bird he was just talking about. You get a sense you'd probably have some idea of like people that might know. I don't think I really have to tell you who. But no one that you would think that would use this.
Okay. He spins the arrow between his fingers and gives Grotus a side eye. Yeah, sorry, buddy. I don't know specifically who would use this. However, as I've said, I do information gathering. If this is so important to you. And I might know a few people who could have the information.
I'd appreciate it if you could lead me in the right direction.
But why is this so important to you?
Grotus is gonna look at you, think hard, and go, I don't know if I trust enough of you for that, but let's just say it's personal.
Generally, I'm assuming you're looking for someone then.
One or ones, not positive. I'm not even sure if this is the exact one I'm looking for. I'll tell you
Dead,
what, though.
alive.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, he just asked that. Dead or alive?
You mean the person, whether I think they're dead or alive?
Mm.
I don't know. They were alive at one point. But I'll be honest with you. And he's gonna have this very... You gotta see, like, the blue glow in his eyes go off from the rune. They won't be when I find them.
He watches him and the glow. Doesn't say anything, but gives a nod. Alright, so it's that kind of mission.
Takes the arrow back, puts it back. It's that sort of mission.
Hmm. Well, are you looking to hire? Or are you hoping something out of the goodness of my heart?
I suppose if you're asking for a fee, we can discuss it.
How about this? You give me as much information you're willing to comfortably give me, and I can tell you whether or not it's doable. I'm not sure how long I'll be traveling with you, so the amount of detail that I get will be dependent on how much information I can give. Sounds like you're not looking for much, though.
Grotus just kind of looks at you. That's fair. I don't want this going amongst the other group, though. This is personal.
Understandable.
Chris, I would request a GM, a whisper room, but I guess we don't have one in here, so.
I can make one. Hold on.
I'll
Okay.
deafen myself if I gotta.
Okay, well, this is
If I must, I must.
I prefer to keep this between me and Zaku.
See, we could also do like a one-on-one as well,
The
depending.
chat where people talk.
Thanks, Chris.
I like Chris's sense of humor.
The chat where people die.
When you accidentally make the wrong thing.
I guess we'll pop down there, then Zaku with
Yeah, sorry, I
Chris.
forgot I had push to talk shit. Yeah, you guys can just throw yourselves in there, and then I'll join in.
Yeah. Okay, so
Hello.
prepare for some backstory for my character. So Grotus looks at you with this darker and kind of scowl on his face. He goes, "That arrow you have in your hand."
Oh, he put it back.
Oh yeah, that arrow I gave you. I found it in the body of me father.
I had a feeling.
There was about a half dozen of them just like it or more.
Hmm.
I found him in the woods I found him after I was in the woods at home. Don't know how, don't know where they came from or what they are. All I can guess is that they weren't from the small folk. The arrows were too large for goblins or halflings of the sort. My father had a lot of enemies in his life. I don't care to share all of that with you. But needless to say, there's a list that could have done it, I suppose. All I can be certain of is I'm sure there was at least no more than 3 of them. Otherwise, I'm sure I could have picked up a trail when they left the house. Whoever or whatever they were skilled. My dad was an experienced fighter, one of the best. He could tan my hide any day from Sunday, and he points to the rune, he had the same sort of skills I had.
Hmm.
So whoever did this or whatever did this, I need the answers. It's the whole reason I've been out here for the last 5 fucking years.
So, your father sounded like a very important person.
I'm not sure
Is
if
that
he
why
was...
he's...
Oh, sorry.
That's why he stuck out into the woods with you.
Kind of hesitates to think. Important might not be the right word. The exact
Infamous.
opposite might be the opposite. Aye, perhaps infamous might be the word.
Hmm.
But not in the way you might be thinking. Not to tell you too much, he was my dad's secret, and it wasn't something he was proud of, but he was not exactly loved among his people. And he was an adventurer for a while. That's when he found me and raised me. Needless to say, it was a tough time for him and me, but we lived in the woods to stay away from people. Oddly enough, I think it was for my well-being versus than his.
These are very distinct arrows, though. It sounds like someone was making a statement.
That's what I'm thinking. That. Then he kind of thinks, taps the arrow shaft once more. Whether it was some sort of hired professional that used arrows like these.
Hmm. You thinking assassins?
It'd be possible. As I said, there's a few that would have liked my father dead from what I understood. Though I honestly thought that would have been well and done with.
Hello, he looks out into the distance. Nowhere in particular towards the road that they had come from. And his eyes are idly darting around, thinking of a few people into his head that he could contact. Though, if you're paying attention, there's a tinge of sourness that comes to his face. I know a few people who might be able to help. I'm not the most excited to contact them, though, I will say.
Grodus kind of looks at you. That'd be fair. If the worst case comes, if you don't want to contact them, tell me who they are. I'll see if I can track them down myself. But I need these answers one day.
That mm, probably wouldn't work unless you have me around.
Fair.
The people that I would contact tend to work with a specific sort of group.
Grodus kind of looks at you with a thoughtful gaze and kind of nods. Fair. Well, if that's the case, we can always adjust the price to fit your uncomfortableness then.
Mm. What's your budget?
Chris, what are we getting paid for this job?
We're paying
They're
15
getting paid
gold
15
in total.
gold for getting the miners to Teleburg, and he has offered that there might be work afterwards.
So far, I'll give you the money for the job, plus whatever else expenses you need.
Mm. He considers and looks them over. How about this? I'll think on the price. And he tilts his head at him, considering, looking over his old person. If we tend to work well, and who knows, maybe end up doing other missions as well. Perhaps we could do a trade of services of such. And he shrugs, networking essentially. And that could bring down the price. And he looks off to the inn. Did that with Moonstone.
Deal. If you ever need me for anything, I'll do it. As long as it gets me closer to my goal.
Alright. And he hops down. And again, at the inn, holds out a hand.
Looks down at, brings out his hand to shake.
Probably envelops like up to his forearm or something. I don't know how huge his hands are.
Yeah, they're pretty big, but it's not like he's like mutated.
Big meaty claws.
I mean, they probably envelop your entire hand up to your wrist.
He says, gives it a nod. And let's go.
Fair. Yeah, I take it you're leaving?
He considers for a moment, and then he looks back at him as he was considering options. These people, did they know about you? Or did they only know about your father?
Grotus looks up at you and goes, to be honest, I can't be sure one way or the other.
Because it seems rather stupid to me to attack the father of someone, well, a prodigy per se.
As I said, there's a few people it could be. And only one of them I know of that would even know that I exist.
You want to give me these names?
He kind of stops and thinks about it. In time, maybe. As I said, they're a bit personal. But
And don't take this personally, but I can't work with little information. This is between me, and this is something I do for a living. I know when to keep my mouth shut. But it's up to you.
he's just going to look at you and do one quick question. Okay. In that case, do you know the dwarven city called Kazaraman?
Does Gallo know the city of Kazaraman?
You would know of it because it's a rather large city. Roll a perception or roll a history check.
Kazaroman? Is that?
I'll post it for you.
Alright,
yeah.
Thank you. Ah, damn it. History. Fucking
I'll
history.
private messages to you so the party doesn't know what we're doing.
Oh. Okay. Should I also roll this as a DM roll, or?
No, you don't have to.
Oh, yeah,
They can be
then
talking
you,
about whatever. Four.
Motherfucker.
You would know that it is one of the two large dwarven settlements in northern Avalok. The other one being a place called Red Rock. You would know that it borders kind of on the very edge of a few human kind of territories, as well as Jotunheim, the land of the giants. That's, you know that they are pretty The best way to describe them is pretty dwarvish. But that's about all you get with a 4.
Pretty dwarfish. In italics.
Sure.
Okay. And so Gallo, here's a name. Those things come to mind. Generally, I know of the area. Not much about it.
Well, let's put this for a test on your side as well, because honestly, I don't know how much I want to trust you with it, but there was a dwarf, my father. He came from there.
Mm.
If you find someone who had a grudge against... God damn it, I just had his name ready. Oh, yeah. Just want to make sure I got the right name so I don't say it by accident, say the wrong name. Yeah. Thrawn Emberbeard.
Thrawn Emberbeard. I'm assuming that's another fucking history check.
You could, but this one's like a lot higher of a DC.
Okay. Alright. Gallo
We're
nods.
talking like 1819. It's
Oh,
one
damn.
specific dwarf
Alright.
from
He-
a decent while ago.
I doubt I'm gonna get anywhere near that.
Try it. Go for it.
But
Never
I'll
hurts if you
fucking
get that nat
try.
20. Nope.
Nope. I just rolling shit today, man.
You try to think on it. Nothing really. Sorry, with the 7.
That's okay. Yeah, Gallo doesn't try to hide the fact that he doesn't know who this person is. And shakes his head. Don't know of him. I'll find out about him.
Well, I know about him. That's my father.
Mm,
As I said, that's the person these people wanted to kill and where he's from. Should be enough info to get you started, at least I'd hope.
yes. Alright. Do a bit of research.
But
And
Grotus
of
will...
course. Oh,
Grotus
yeah,
will
he
give
just
you one last thing, though. And his
Mhm.
father's the only person that knows I exist. The only one I know of would be the son of a bitch that aired me.
the one that hired.
Aired, as in other words, the one that's his real father, genetic.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he gives another understanding nod. Alright. What use would he have of that? And he pauses for a second, thinking, never mind, I can answer that. Alright. I will do my research. I'll come back to you every once in a while, and of course, if your trust in me changes over time, do update me on information.
That's fair. As I said, don't want to give away too much. There's things attached.
I won't charge you for now, since I'm traveling with you anyways. And there's only so much that I can get on my own. But if I do see something that could be a potential lead, then we'll start talking.
Fair. And he nods to you. In any case, we better get ourselves to sleep.
Alright. And as he's walking off, he just says, offer's still open, by the way. He says so with a bit of a smirk into his tone, and heads towards inside the carriage to sleep there.
Chris just kind of watches him leave with that statement going and just kind of shakes his head and goes, I don't know if it's a half-elf thing or what. He goes to bed.
Sure thing. With that, you two can head back to the main chat then.
Yeah. How'd you like a little glimpse of his backstory here?
There's so many more questions. Oh, poor baby Rhoda.
Something wrong, and then both Klaus and Klaus and Varric are both just like on the same page of like, no, you fucked up, and then she does the thing where she goes to someone first, and then realizes she's not getting anywhere with them, and then tries to go to the other person, and then realizes they're not going anywhere with them, and it's just like, oh no.
Welcome back.
I'm gonna cry.
Hi.
I'm going to cry when they become a disciplinary pair, scolding the rest of the team.
Me
Oh
too,
my
dude.
God.
Me too.
You're killing me.
All right. So, is there anything else before you would all like to go to bed?
I would like to work on my design some more.
Sure. So let's see if we can get a proper design going. Roll your Tinker's tools.
I was thinking
Intelligence still?
Xavier. I was thinking Xavier might talk to Julius, but
Sure,
I
if you
don't
want.
know. Oh shit! Okay, you good with that, Nikki?
It's Moonstone. You're like, yes, this might work, and then then you're interrupted as they're like, watch the sunset. And you're like, what? Damn it!
God damn it! My train of thought is gone!
Yeah, unfortunately, DC's low. DC's like getting lower and lower. It's down to like a 12. So hopefully you come up with a design by the next night, and then it'll be a matter of working on it, which will determine how many days you are by your design.
This so just better be fucking worth it.
If Julius and Xavier would like to talk for the last bit of the session, you can.
All right.
I was
Good start.
texting. But no, I guess for a bit, Xavier would have just kind of been catnapping, lying down with his hands folded behind the back of his head, kind of hat over his face, while they just kind of sit. Well, I'm assuming that Julius is just kind of sitting or standing there.
Yeah, he's sitting.
Eventually, Xavier kind of just removes the hat, and very quietly, he's just like, "Something on your mind?"
Oh, just sort of thinking over what you said before.
Penny for your thoughts. Or should I say copper?
Well, just sort of how he kind of makes like a bit of a face and then like glances over at him. You're the sort that enjoys change, yes?
I'd say so. Yeah, why?
I'm sort of still trying to decide if I like it or not.
Well, kind of goes silent for a bit before he continues. Nah, I admit that was a bit of a lie on my part. Let's say I respect change. Don't mean I always gotta like it, but I accept that it's a natural part of the way the world works. I don't think you gotta like everything that comes out that's new, you know. Just because the tides rise and lower, that's fine. That's what the ocean does, but sure as hell makes fishing a lot harder. Depending.
I was sort of comfortable with how things were, and then a big change happened, and while I was very eager to hop on the opportunity, at the same time, it's odd stepping away from what's comfortable.
You're right. Up until about, yeah, give or take a few months. Do the same daily routine, go out on a boat, return for a few hours. Talk with some of the town folk, lie out in the grass, chase a wolf or two. Same thing, same old, every day, but stepping out of that, getting away from most times comfortable beds, one would think that I'd be a little bit upset, and frankly, when I started, kind of would. But you don't experience anything new if you're comfortable.
Suppose that's true.
Why are you out here?
Well, like I said before, make a name for myself, become someone noteworthy.
Well, I mean, I get that. Stories of heroes and whatnot. My mama and I myself would like to read myself too, but I ain't proven anything to myself necessarily, or to anyone for that matter. It's a goal, an aspiration, but it's just an aspect. I ain't ever seen too many heroes become sad about being heroes, but pardon me, but you don't look too happy right now.
Kind of runs his hand through his hair. There's a mixture of feelings, I suppose. Number one, at least at this very moment, as we sort of look at this view and he gestures towards it, is just whether or not my mother might be looking at the same one, and if she's alright.
Your mama okay?
Yeah, she's alright, but I'm sort of her everything, so with me gone, can't help but be a little concerned over how lonely she might be.
Your mama got any friends? My
No.
mama has the entire village, so I know she's being taken good care of.
No.
Well, can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Are you doing this for her?
Partially. Yes, partially.
You know, Julius,
Hmm.
and feel free to shoot me down if I'm wrong or something, but are you ever worried that this might not be the right course for you?
I'm gonna ask us to move to the other chat.
Sure, you can do it if you like.
Oh, Allah, Allah.
Oh no!
No one wants to talk to Moonstone.
Oh, poor Moonstone, I'm sorry.
So alone.
all by himself. Don't wanna be. I'm.
We're
All right.
dead.
Hooray!
So which
Athletic.
one of you got the AIDS?
Y'all be having
Neither.
Smash.
So,
By the
Is
way,
there
we're going
anything-
to the soup store.
is there anything else you would all like to do?
I would like to-
soup.
You would
I
like
don't
to
know.
talk to
Does
the
anyone
bard?
want?
Great, let him
You know what?
finish,
Fuck it.
Michael.
I'll talk to the fucking bard. Sure.
Sure. So, as the night's kind of getting low, the bard seems to be playing the last little bit of his song for whatever patrons are there. He's got a half decent bit of coin, though nothing too impressive. Kind of, you can approach at your leisure.
I will approach at my leisure.
Kind of gives you a nod at the. He seems to be finishing
I'm sorry, that was so stupid.
the last final verse of the song.
Yeah, it's pretty good, that Mike. What'd you learn how to play?
Oh, he kind of like as he finishes up, he kind of looks. And he's like, I self-taught. Hear enough bards performing in shitty taverns, eventually you get good at being a shitty bard.
Hey, I like that attitude. Good way to get things done.
I suppose well enough.
What's he playing? A lute?
Yeah, he's playing a lute. He's a looks to be an elvish man, probably of wood elvish descent by the color of his hair. Rather tan skin, seems to be dressed in a. It's kind of nice, but you get a sense that it's kind of like poor man's nice, if that makes sense.
Nah, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Like a suit, but it's not like tailored to you.
Yeah, it's very that. Kind of the lute itself is probably the nicest thing he has. Kind of as he finishes up, he just kind of is resting it. Kind of like giving a little pick through the little coin. He had this kind of, it was a hat essentially. That was just collecting coins.
What's the atmosphere in the tavern looking at right now?
It is dwindling, to say the least. Very much people are just going to bed, falling asleep. Not many people are still awake. Most of the, from what you can see, like all your party except for the ones on the hill are probably in bed. And you kind of look and see all the dwarves, all the miners seem to have gone. There's very few. There's still like a couple straggling of the mercenaries. Seem to be like finishing the last of their drinks. It's dying down.
You know, I probably could make a. I could probably put a little flair in that instrument of yours.
Kind of gives you kind of like a look as you say that. It's like, what do you mean by flair?
I'll give it a little lucitory effect.
It will damage it. Yes.
Nah, I won't damage it.
Then I doubt I'm getting any more coins tonight. I don't mind you showing off. He kind of takes the loot and kind of hands it off. The loot is nice. The loot is nicer than he is.
Noted. I'll just fiddle with it a little bit with my tools and add a little something to the side of it and give it a quick strum, and there'll be a little display of like a little light, like a little psst, like sparkles.
Okay. Like, are you actually doing something mechanically to it, or is it just flavor that you want to do?
More or less flavor. I'm really just using one of my magical tinkering things.
Oh, I get what you're doing. Yeah, so
Yeah,
no,
the
so it's
most
mechanical.
useless feature I have.
No, it's not useless, but it is like I just wanted to see if this was like actual mechanics thing or not. But yeah, totally fine. You kind of do that. He's like, oh, kind of like takes his own like strums itself. I believe that lasts indefinitely till you stop it, right?
Basically it's I can basically keep it going until either I have 3 of them that I can use. It's attached to my intelligence score, but basically once I keep using different ones, eventually that's gonna cycle out.
Ah, okay.
So that'll last indefinitely, assuming I never use this feature again. which I will inevitably will.
Who knows? Yeah.
Who
Kind
knows?
of gives us like, thank you. That's Rather kind of a total stranger.
Can't promise it'll last very long, but it's there.
It's unique and interesting. I might catch a couple eyes with it. That's about all I can hope for. Thank you. Sorry, what did you say your name was?
Moonstone. And he takes a little bow. Moonstone and Mountainside. Pleasure to meet you.
I've heard your native naming system before. I must admit, it's always odd almost to hear it.
It's the weirdest fucking thing.
I'm.
Don't feel. Listen, I've gotten plenty of looks as soon as I said my name.
It's not terrible. I'm Einwolf.
Yo, who again? Say that again?
Einwolf.
Einwolf.
Oh, sorry, that's supposed to be A-E. Ein.
Einwolf. Yeah, good strong name. I like it.
About as unique as I could get. What brings you to the crossing?
Business. Same as everyone else. Just guiding some people on their way up to Teleburg. Teleburg. Listen, names are not my forte.
I've
Just
not
look at mine.
been to the town. Heard it's been profitable in recent years, but couldn't tell you schlick about it.
Honestly, I couldn't either. Well, actually, do I know anything about Teleburg?
You'd know just from kind of like your research before the job. It is, as you kind of stated, as has been stated, it's a mining city or a mining town. Probably less than 50 people actually live there, and a lot of them are just workers that kind of move there to work, leave when they get their pay, and kind of decide to come back. It used to be pretty small on the map, but recent not changes, but kind of recent developments in it within the past 50 years or so. It's honestly kind of a pretty big producer, and a lot of silver, iron, and salt are its biggest kind of things it puts out. Much more than the town's population would give it note for. You would know it's within the jurisdiction of the Duke of Wildervale. It is considered one of his territories. And the town, yeah, like I said, 50 people, very small, not much interesting there.
It's smaller, but it's been making a big deal of coin lately.
I've been playing here the last few nights. I've heard a couple folks say they've been there before. Apparently they had to leave, unfortunately, these last few months.
Goblins?
No, it was, I don't want to call it bureaucracy, but apparently the previous owner to a lot of the mines passed away, and there was a bit of change in structure, change in people. Some folk just decided to look for work elsewhere. But other than that, I don't know much else.
Well. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, not really my concern. Hoping to pick up some cheap metal there while I'm at it, but yeah, mostly just there to.
Imagine that'd be the place to get it.
Yeah, right. But now my job's really just to keep these, the adjusters to where the dwarves in the Noma City, those folks safe while we take them back up there.
Well, I wish you luck. Roads are only getting more dangerous.
It makes it more exciting, right? Just another problem to solve. I'm actually a problem solver.
Well, at the very least, I wish you the greatest luck, whatever that can find you.
Hey, you too, mate. Your songs are nice.
Thank you. The lament may be sad, but it's an important song, I feel.
Not all good things. Not all things that are important are happy. But before I head off, want to play more of a happy song?
He kind of thinks for a moment. He's like, what happy songs do I know?
By the way, I'd like to say, just for flavor, I set up that device so it will actually have a slightly different color depending on the
note.
Yeah, kind of like the key and the pitch, and just sort of how like just sort of overall tone.
Sure.
So a sadder song is gonna have like a more whooshy,
Like,
watery effect, while a happier song might have a bit more of a sunnier, sparkly effect.
Okay.
What is that whistling noise?
I think it's feedback from Chris's mic, but I can't be too sure.
It's not feedback. It's I don't
Sounds
even
like a
know
fan.
what it is. No, it does it in my house every once in a while. It's like this. I couldn't even describe it, but like every hour or so, it's this like almost whistling noise, like a pipe or something. Anyway,
Your house is like an old man. It just makes strange noises, and you just go, okay.
there it is again. Yeah, basically. It's not. Well, it's an older house.
Is it a
but-
fire alarm?
No,
thing?
it's trust me, it's not a fire alarm.
CO2 detector. Just like
Nope, not even that. I'm still alive. Unfortunately.
You're dying, Chris. You're dying.
Man, I hope so. I can finally escape you fools.
Stop!
He kind of thinks for a
You-
moment. I'm gonna have him just make something up off the top of his head. I'll roll a performance for him. That's a 14, and he's got a 6, so that's a 20. Yeah, it's just kind of. He kind of thinks for a bit, and he starts like kind of like strumming out the song as he's trying to think of it. It's almost like this.
A humble
I'm not singing for you. But,
Olivia.
No, it's this song of he starts essentially attempting to kind of like go through like different gem names, like there's onyx and amber, and I'm thinking like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for whatever reason. But
There's
beautiful.
onyx and amber, amethyst and pearl.
yeah, but he essentially does like
Garnets.
he essentially does the first like bit of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and kind of ends it like on a but none shone quite like a humble moonstone. That's the best you can do. That's the best I can do.
Art.
All right. Jesse, Mike.
You as well. I wish you would have a luck music can bring.
I appreciate that, and good luck with your performance. Like I said, I don't know how long that's going to last, so
I will attempt to hit a bigger tavern than this, at least.
good on you. And Vincent will get up and head off to his room.
You head your way to your room. Sleep finds you all. And that's where we'll end for today.
Okay.
I,
Vincent's a decent person sometimes.
I